Okay. Everything's good. Settled here. It's probably too loud. Maybe. Let me turn it down. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Good day. How's it going? Get rid of that. Don't want to get hit with something. Hope y'all had a nice day today. We're gonna get settle in, and try out this new game. It's in beta, obviously, but I've already played some of it just to make sure that everything was working out well. I can already tell that there is going to be what's what I'm looking for. Not necessarily issues, but some gripes. I can say some gripes, but I still am looking forward to seeing how the rest of you guys feel about it. So I've already done the first 3 stages because that's what I needed to get the mail unlocked. But I'm gonna go back and show the scenes again. That way you guys are all up to speed. The game does look good, at the very least. Oh, right. I'm gonna have to narrate for you guys, aren't I? Yeah, because there's no English voice acting. That's right. Our investigation points to a hyperlink chip at the source of Genesis. So we have to find the chip first. Let's head this way. I don't think I'll narrate the full motion scenes though. That's the race against time.
ついてきてください。
ついてこい。自業自得だ。
どこへ逃げるつもり？もう観念し。任務完了。次
So
のターゲットに向かいま
it
す。
is a turn-based game, and there is auto battle. Obviously, you have 3 skills. It's your skill 1, skill 2, and I guess there's an ultimate. I think they call it an ultimate or a skill 3. I don't know, but the skill 3 is usually your strongest, your signature attack or your signature ability. And then everyone has a passive, so it kind of works like Ghost Frontline, but not too much like Ghost Frontline. This is just a starting team. They're not great, obviously, but the visuals are nice, and from what I've seen so far, the abilities are quite varied. I think it's pretty nice. Watch out! Dark crystals from the meltdown are blocking our path. The second floor corridor looks sturdy enough. Climb up with Chak. I know what Chak is. I think it's that little thingy. Up.
戦闘準備だ。そらよ。逃がすか。
どこへ逃げるつもり？もう観念しなさい。
はっ。
任務完了。次のターゲットに向かいましょう。
It keeps showing her. That's pretty funny. Look, that device there caused a rift above the building. And that chip is powering it. Just that word Leon finished helping the Bureau evacuate civilians and caught the suspicious animus. Leon has sent the control system manipulation codes. Now it's up to us. What's next? Let's go over then. Oh, I should note the main protagonist is mostly silent, besides choices you can make. It might look clear, but there's a security system around that device. We can't march over. Let's head to the control center and use the code to shut it down first. Looks like the meltdown exposed some weak nodes nearby. We can tap into those for a direct transmission. Come on, no time to waste. Oh yeah, that's right. If you're above the dude's level, then if you do an ambush attack, you automatically kill them and you don't have to fight them. They keep showing the world chat for some reason, but oh well. So I think visually this game looks pretty good.
自業自得だ。
どこへ逃げるつもり？もう
Is it
観念しなさい。
Honkai Star Rail good? Probably not. It might be like a tier below it. But if you say like Honkai Star Rail is like S tier
次
in
のター
terms
ゲッ
of
トに向かいましょう。
in terms of looks, then this game's probably S tier in terms of looks. It's just a tier below it.
階層が崩れ始めてる。早く逃げて。危険すぎる。けどこうするしかない。ワープスポットを設置。よし、座標は屋上よ。急ぎましょう。危ない、避けて。いや、ありえない。こんなレベルの検出反応。データベースの記録値を超えてる。
No, this level of anime reaction is beyond anything in our records.
マギさん、私にやらせてください。
Maggie, let me
役
try.
に立てるかもしれません。
I might be able to help.
そうするしかないわね。
Deploying Dorothy now seems to be our best bet. What is a healer? That's why. Anyways.
炎は全ての罪を燃やし尽くす。
よっと。自業自得だ。
プレゼントがいっぱい用意してありますよ。
燃えろ。
Yeah, so very strong opening. Unfortunately, that's like it puts its best step forward, and then after that, it goes down a lot in its presentation. Like it goes into like the complaints that people did with Honkai Star Rail, where it's a lot of standing there and talking right afterwards, and it's like that for a good amount of the games that the gameplay that I've done off stream. And that is a particular issue. Where is there a setting to stop the chat from showing up? Whatever, probably not, to be honest. Let me just snap. Nope, that doesn't work either. Oh well. So if I'm completely honest, I don't want to go back and do those other chapters because honestly, they're very boring. To be completely real with you, but to give a brief overview of what the story is from what I've seen so far, it's a post-apocalyptic world. This is currently the real world. And actually you can see from the outside of the window, it's not great. So I don't know who made it. Maybe it was like a world effort or something like that. But they made a systemized world based on the real world, but it's in a much better state. And basically, humans can more or less deep dive in that world instead. And that world also has, I think they're called I forgot what their names were. It's a different, they're basically computerized people, avatars more or less, that live directly in that computerized world. Like I said, I forgot the specific name for it. They'll show it whenever I start playing the game again. But you are one of the last remaining humans that can go into that world, and you're basically engaged in enforcing the law, more or less, of that world. Good day, French Ferret. Hope you're having a good time. That's about the most that I gotten so far. There's also, I guess I can say right now, the big bad. We don't necessarily know what the big bad is right now, but they're spreading a virus inside the computerized world that is causing all of the other avatars to go crazy sometimes. And you gotta purge those. You gotta purge them, more or less. Now, as far as the bigger world building is concerned, there's not much of that from what I've seen so far. I think right now they're more concerned with building up their characters rather than building up the world itself. So it's neither here nor there. I can't really say for sure yet. It's still too early. So here's a summoning system. I'll say up front, I do like how summoning is right now. For the limited banners, no matter what, you will get the limited unit within 100 pulls. There is no 50-50 system. And it's 1% drop rate, but you are guaranteed to get the character at 100 pulls. For start of the game, you get a free SSR at 40 pulls, and you can choose whichever you want. From what I have read up and looked into, you want this character because she is really good in both PvE and PvP. The rest are kind of like whatever. From what I understand, it's really just this one and this one that you want to focus on. And speaking of PvP, this is a PvP focused game, from what I know, but there is a good amount of focus on PvE as well. So if that is true, it'll already be a step up from Fire Emblem Heroes, because Fire Emblem Heroes had a lot going for it, but I think the main thing that killed the game for a lot of people, it's make a lot of money, is that it focused too hard on PvP and not enough on PvE. What else is there? No, that's just about it. I guess we can continue on now. Like I said, I'm gonna skip all the old stuff because I don't want to do that dialogue again. We already have enough dialogue to go through with this one. Have you reached Sybil? Yeah, she's updated on dating Sanina and Leiba's life. Sybil agrees to let Deaton join us, and she made a discovery on Leiba's life too. What discovery? Meltdown Response Bureau uncovered their secret base here and has begun to act. The problem is the Melt Fiends. The Melt Fiends are the stuff that you usually fight on the overworld. Libel's life can somehow control melt fiends, including 2 particularly difficult ones.
シビルたちも苦戦しているでしょ
Sybil
う。
and her team are having a tough time.
レイボス生命の奴らはシビル
She'll
に
manage.
よ
While she draws their focus,
彼女が敵
we'll
の目を
tackle
引いているう
Genesis.
ちにジェネシスさえ片付ければ
Eliminating the virus will make everything easier.
ええ、そうするし
Okay,
かない
you're
わね。
probably right.
艇長サニアは一体どこにいる
18. What exactly is Sania?
荘園の構造から予測するに
She's in a secret tower within the central mansion, a place Fran set up for her after her surgery.
複雑な道になる
The path's a bit tricky. I'll lead the
俺が
way.
案内こっちだついてこい
Before I do that, let me make sure that
私の鞘に触れるなよやけどするぞ
一緒に夢へ
all
入
I
り
want is
たい
still
の。
good.
言っておくけど、
私のプリ
新しい依頼でも
Yeah.
邪魔をするな
私の力が必要かしら。
I think that's good.
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。一緒に耳を傾けて。
しゃあ逃がすか
敵がまだいるかもしれない警戒を怠るな
Boss fight.
今日はどこに行けばいいのですか？
今こそ夢立ちの時よ。
She does look visually very good.
自業自得だ
よみがえれ燃えろ
目覚めこそ恵みなのよ。
I don't think that's a good call.
用意してありますよ。
いや少し休憩しようまだやるべきことがたくさんある
遮断生物の数が多くなってる
We're running into more belt
そろ
fiends.
そろ中心地帯だ
This must be the
艇
central
長の
area.
話では
The team
遮断
mentioned
生物
we
以
might
外に
also
霊
encounter
没生
folks
命の
from
連中もい
Labo's
るは
life.
ず進めば進むほど危険
It's
にな
going to
る
get riskier the deeper we go, so stay sharp.
時間がない
We're
急
short
ぐ
on
んだ
time. Let's move. And so far the dialogue is much snappier than the previous chapter, so that's pretty good. That might actually needs to be a page of the housekeeper's journal. When will the young lady's illness be cured? Now she can only sit in the window every day watching the birds fly outside. The look in her eyes is truly heartbreaking. Not sure what that means. Other than that, it's sad. Yeah, but if it's less talking heads and more moving around, it might actually be might actually alleviate
こ
my
こを通
previous
り抜けたら
issues.
塔に着く
Pass through here and we'll reach the secret tower on the west, where Sani is.
おかしい
Odd. Why is there a barrier in our way all of a sudden?
エネルギーバリアね。
It's an energy barrier. We've run into these before.
でもやっぱり
I just checked. While it looks similar, the personality traces are different from the last two we encountered.
サニアのものでも
They're not from Sonia or Mr. Fran. I haven't found anything like this in the mansion.
ここがどんな場所だったかわかる
Recognize this place?
エニーの寝室だ
It's Annie's bedroom.
エニ
Annie?
ー確か
Right, we've heard that name
前に見た
if-
形跡で
in Mr.
あの
Fran's
フェランがそ
shadow
の名前
prince.
フェランの実の娘だ
She is Fran's biological
一緒に
daughter.
イザリアに来た
She moved to Etheria with Fran and was set up to live here.
気の毒に彼女は
Unfortunately, she caught shadow malady and has been in deep sleep. Nothing could wake her up. Shadow malady again.
おかしいわ。
That's strange. At Main's Foundation, I looked into his records in the EOS system.
記録によれば
The records show that when the 6th shelter was hit by crywatch snow, most of the family died. Good evening, Snake. How's it going? He was the only one who made it to Etheria later on. His family, including Annie, didn't qualify and were left behind. Without clearance, she shouldn't have been able to enter. Clearance? Yes, Etheria's admission requires clearance. It's a new world for humans, but not everyone can enter. That's right, meaning humans can't handle Etheria's unique forces, failing to qualify for Etherization. I wonder if there's a glossary. From what I can understand, a third of the survivors couldn't qualify and were left behind. So how did she get into Etheria? Without hyperlink? An implant could have helped her adapt. That seems unlikely. After the EOS introduced hyperlecting tech, it enabled many who were previously unqualified to enter Etheria. However, the tech was still new and had its issues. EOS keeps a strict registry of everyone with a hyperlink. There is no time for any to ever receiving one. The only explanation is Fran must have used some extreme methods to sneak her in. It's that butterfly again. Another shadow print. But this one's different. It shows Mr. Fran as someone else. But it looks like there are personality traces in the shadow print again. Let's search the area and gather any data we can find. Let's see if there actually is a glossary. Archive? Not that one. That's for shells. Okay. Your pets, more or less. No. These are cutscenes. But there's no glossary, it looks like. At least not in here. I mean, I didn't expect the glossary, but it would have been nice. Okay. So I think... What's this anyways? Okay. Oh, this is... Yeah, okay. This is just bust to their skills, I believe. Nope, I think that's it. Alright. We need nothing to restore shadow print. Found anything? No, not yet. What was the button? There should be a change, fusion, rebirth, unlocking potential. Evolution Initiative caters to each client's ideal outcomes. Linebots has always led the way in reforming life. Linebots conducts a thorough anima test before beginning any personalized service. Change, fusion, rebirth, unlocking potential. Labos lights ads were all over before the scandal. I can't believe Mr. Franz still fell for those after Labos life shut down. This one. Yes, it's this button. That's what it was. Yeah. Broken photo frame. The girl's energetic figure becomes somewhat blurred and distorted in the shattered photo frame. That Innie? Yes, that's her. She's radiant, full of life. Completely different from Sanya. Mr. Fran's diary. These diaries record some aspects of Mr. Fran's life, most of which are about Innie and Sanya. This is Mr. Fran's diary. Let me have a look. If you're awake, you love Sanya. She's kind. You'd be great sisters. Hearing Sanya's call me Dad, makes me wish it were you. Sanya's picture book, your favorite, makes me think she's you. But then reality hits. I don't trust Labos' life. But they're all I got. Number 41 says that surgery could wake you up. It's risky, but I have to try it for you, Innie. I don't want to hurt Sanya or anyone, but I have no choice, Innie. Surgery's in 2 days. I dreaded hearing Sanya's call me Dad again. I feel bad for doing this to her, but it's the only way to wake you. Did Mr. Fran adopt Sanya to save Innie? Never heard of surgery for shadow malady. How's this happening? You said the success rate was over 70%. Sanya woke up, not my daughter. You don't understand, Mr. Fran. There's been mistaken data, and anima fusion needs more time. More time? That's all you ever asked for, but who will give me more time? Good evening, Chanchulo. Hope you're having a good time. No more excuses. You have 1 week to wake my Innie. Rest assured, she will wake up. Anima fusion. They actually tried to merge Sanya and Innie? But wasn't anima fusion research banned by EOS? EOS's ban is meaningless for some people. And to monsters like Fran, lies like animuses mean nothing. Okay, that's what they are. Sanya might have seen him as her father, but he only used her to bring back his daughter. If the surgery was about merging the two, why didn't Genesis erupt here 4 years ago? Having a mid-time on games. A nice Thursday. That's about me, honestly. So for today, I had a really bad time. My AC ran out of power, and I'm in Texas, and it's basically summer here. So I basically stayed in bed for like half the day because it was so hot. And I didn't want to do anything. Fortunately, the maintenance crew came over today, so it got fixed all on the same day, but it was dreadful today. So bad. Because the real aim wasn't to wake Innie, but to test Genesis. Crazy, right? Franz tricked Sanya. And Libos' life tricked him. Fran wanted to wake Innie, but Libos wanted to unlock Sanya's power, making her a test subject to control Genesis. Sanya integrated with Innie's personality, but only stayed conscious for a day. By the next night, Genesis burst from her, consuming the manor. Had I found out sooner, taking her away, this wouldn't have happened. She said she wanted to leave the manor, but I never made it happen. This time, I'll save her, no matter what it takes. And we got your back.
マギー、ジェネシスの状態はどうなの？
Maggie, how's Jennifer's looking now?
チャクの観測データによれば
Chad's been monitoring, and the data shows Sonia's power fading, but Jensen's growing faster than we thought.
このままじゃ
She might not last much longer.
さっきの蝶のおかげ
That
で
butterfly has opened the energy barrier. Let's move.
近道を知ってる。
I know a shortcut. Follow me. Alright.
こっちだ。
Got a page. There seems to be a page from the housekeeper's journal. While patrolling at night, I heard her ladyship softly crying in her room. But during the day, she acted as usual, smiling even at everyone. My heart felt like it was being squeezed, suddenly aching.
Get lost, germs. 気をつけろ。
I should fix that. That should only be for subscriptions.
レイボス生命の連中だ。
It's Label's life.
あいつらは一体何を考えてんだ。こんなところまで
What are
来
they
させや
thinking
がって
sending us here?
ジェネシスで溢れて
But
るのに
Genesis
ど
this
うでも
strong.
いい
Aren't
って
they
だ
scared?
誰かが感染した
I
って
heard
話も
they're
聞いたぞ。
already people infected.
愚痴を言うんじゃない。おとな
Put
し
the
く
Christ
任
and
務に
focus
集
on,
中し
on
ろ。
our task.
あ
The
の
tests are just
実験
waking
体も
soon.
もうすぐナンバー41が言ってい
Number
た。
41 said she's awake.
あの女が目
We're
覚
out
め
of
た。
here.
やはりサニアを目覚めさせようと
We're
し
trying to wake up Sonia.
思い通りにはさせ
We
ない。
can't let them.
近くにもレイボス生命の
Label's
奴ら
life
が多い
must
は
have
ずだ。
many people around.
慎重に
Deal with them
片付けて
quickly and keep a low profile. I can't go around. Feels bad.
仲間を傷つけたいならまずこの剣に聞け。
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。一緒に耳を傾けて。
やっと逃がすか。
Not bad.
よみがえれ。敵がまだいるかもしれない。警戒を怠るな。
Oh. I was hoping to be like a insta kill, but
即戦即決。
this level's too high. Yeah, it's level 30. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably why. RP's based on combat
今こ
power.
そ夢立ちの時よ。
炎をすべての罪を燃やし尽くす。少し休憩しよう。
Gameplay wise, I know nothing about this
まだ
game.
やるべきことがたくさんあ
I'm
る。
basically completely fresh. This is a mid-boss battle. Or maybe call it a forced encounter.
冒険の始まりです。
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。一緒に耳を傾けて。
ついてこい。自業自得だ。
炎をすべての罪を燃やし尽くす。
大丈夫。
うかつだった。
燃えろ。敵がまだいるかもしれない。警戒を怠るな。艇長、サニアの位置まであと
How
どの
close
く
are
ら
we
い
to
だ。
Sonya?
この建築エリアを越え
Just past this area, we'll be at the tower where she is.
行こう。急ぐんだ。
Let's hurry. We can't let
レイボス
Labos,
生命の連中に
Labos life
サニアを目
get
覚めさせ
to
るわけに
Sonya
はいかない。
first. Yeah, the dialogue is snappier now. That's good. It's not as much as a pain to listen to the dialogue like it used to. First 3 chapters.
強いジェネシス反応だ。
遮断の前兆だ。気をつけろ。
Let's look at alerts. Launch label, activate prowess.
探検の道に何か困難があれば、冒険家を召喚すればなんとかなりますよ。
For Swift Rush. I know Swift Rush is actually pretty important for everyone. Like, mostly everyone,
何
I
か
want
手
to
伝
say.
うか。
一緒に
力があるか。
私のプレゼントはどうですか？
I'm a little surprised there's no auto equip. Oh, full motion. Gives us some time to fix this. Or maybe not.
サニア
Hold on, why are the 3 anime reactions coming from
な
her?
んでサニアには
It should just be Indy and Sonia's
2つの原質しか
anima.
ないはず
This third one.
まさかレイボズ生命のやつ
Could it be Labos
ま
life?
た新しい原質を融合し
Could
た
Labos life have put another anima in her?
あの野郎ども
Those villains.
サニアを助けられるのか
Can we save her?
まずはどうにか彼女
We
の
can at
ジェネ
least
シス
try
を
to
浄
cleanse
化
the
するしか
Genesis
ない
from
わ
her. I'll give it a shot. We start the cleansing process on Sonia.
どういうこと
What's going on?
いけないサニア
The
の中の
Genesis
ジェ
levels
ネ
in
シス
Sonia are
消え
rising
るどころ
instead.
か逆に離れて暴走するわよ
Run, she's about to lose control.
ほらおいで
サニ
サニア
ア怖がらないで
おいでしつけ
助けてあげる違うもう一度やってみなさい
まともな子になる
第170
契約と違うなる私の娘
第
だ
200
まともな子になるんだ
I don't know what's happening, but the green haired girl is cute. She's freaking out, more or less.
私は絶対もっと優秀になれるからパパの期待にさえ応えれば夢はとっくに終わったの
I guess to put it in Go's frontline
自分自身の
terminology, she's getting hit with the parapluia virus.
私たちは操られる実験体じゃない絶対に
戦闘準備だ
Now we just beat her up to try to get her back to normal.
サニアごめんもう少し我慢してくれ今度はハイパーリンカーがいるからな必ず直してやる
あっち行って近づかないで誰にも私たちのニアは壊させない大丈夫枯れなさい
That was not too bad.
燃えろ
プレゼントがいっぱい用意してありますよ大丈夫死んだらもう痛くないからほら怖くないよ
ついてこい自業自得だ
消えて今こそ夢立ちの時よ炎は全ての罪を燃やし尽くす
目覚めこそ恵みなのよ
Yeah, there's no real issues here.
少し休憩しようまだやるべきことがたくさんある
Let's see. Yeah, I guess I can fix it here.
サニアは今 どう
How's
なったんだ
Sonya?
原因はジェネシスの感染だけじゃない
Well,
の。
Sonya can only
ハイパーリンク
clear
だけでは
Genesis, but Sonya's
どうしよう
case
もないわ。
isn't just an infection.
エニーとの融合だって不完全なのに、それに
Her
加え
merge
て
with
特殊な現実を
Ini
融合
was
さ
a
れて
complete,
る。
and now she's been merged with another, very unique anima.
幸い、サニア
For
の
now,
状態
she's
は
stable
落ち着い
and
た
not
みたい。
in danger of losing control, but waking her would take a miracle.
サニア。
ひとまずこれ以上ここにいて
We
は
should
まず
stick
い。
around.
早く
Let's
彼
take her
女
out
を
of
こ
here.
こから。
サニア。
悪いが生かせられない。役に立たない不良品だと
Did
思
she
った
just got thrown into a Pokeball?
プロトタイプの現実を融合したらこんなにも素晴らしくなるとは。ああ、この調子でいけば本当に完璧な器になるかも。
話しすぎだ。
サニア。
No, he fucked off. Sometime later.
副所長、大事な接見の邪魔をして申し
Oh,
訳ござい
it's
ま
the
せん。
it's the 3 stars. Deputy Director, sorry for interrupting your meeting with an important guest.
構わない。例の
It's
件は
fine.
どうなっている？
How's the situation?
ここから獲得した
It's
物
pretty
資
clear now from the supplies here. It looks like Label's life people have been inside for a while.
その目的は明白。
The goal is clear. The anima is named Sonya.
レイボズ生命か。
Label's life.
久々の
I
名
haven't
前
heard that name in years.
あなたの予測は
You're
正し
right,
かったとい
Deputy
うこと
Director.
です。
Someone's plotting with Label's life's
誰
legacy.
ただし、
However, there's no direct evidence linking this to RCS yet.
それはサニア
We'll
という
know
医
it's
学
them
者を
once
見
we find
つければ
Sonya.
枠協会から報告があった
The union's report stated
ハイパーリンカ
our
ーは
hyperlinker
そ
sensed
の体
3
内から
different
異なる
animals within
現
her,
実その一つは
and one is very close to the archetype we're
プロ
looking
トと
for.
協会はもう動いてい
The
る
union is already acting, and we can't fall behind. We have to find her
一
quickly.
刻かしこまりました。
Understood. I'll send more people to
人手を増やしま
EO6.
す。
Right, not bad. That's a much better chapter than the previous ones for sure. Hyperlinking work log, location, Ganali Manor ruins, digital space. Eliminate the infection source and thoroughly clear the Genesis from E block. Investigation revealed the Genesis infection source to be an animus named Sonya. The Genesis outbreak in E block is linked to Labos life resurgence. The infection source Sonya has been taken by Labos life. Her whereabouts are unknown. The Meltdown Response Bureau has taken control of the space and is conducting further investigations. Relevant mission footage has been uploaded to Union server MG007. Behavior Monitoring Record 12. The monitoring discovered the subject has a special reaction to the anima inside Sonya. Data uploaded. When in contact with Sonya, the subject's second chip produces a faint resonance. Need to extract the special anima from anima Sonya to obtain special data. Monster's conclusion. Anima Sonya is an extremely special subject with immeasurable research value. The two animus who kidnapped Sonya are suspected to be RCS members. Must promptly retrieve Sonya to confirm the cause of the resonance reaction. 19 hours after the Ganali Manor ruins incident. The Meltdown Response Bureau has taken control of the entire digital space, trying to find traces of Hellkid and RC-77. After reporting the results to the Union, Maggie and the Hyperlinker began planning their next move.
最新の情報によりますと
Reporting live, EOS had been They rely a lot on the exposition news. Reporting live, EOS has successfully secured the Ultra building and its vicinity. The main building should reopen by month's end, allowing residents to restart their routines. Meltdown Response Bureau Space Purification Initiative has successfully cleansed 13 digital spaces. In breaking news, Meltdown Response Bureau has pinpointed the source of Genesis in Block E. It traces back to an abandoned digital space between E01 and Ultra Building. Efforts to eliminate Genesis in this area are ongoing, with full eradication anticipated. Have we located Sonia's abductors? The Meltdown Response Bureau investigating, but no news yet. However, we found some clues about the two people who took Sonia. The two animuses have been identified as RC-77 and Hellkit. RC-77 was an engineer at Labos Life before vanishing post their disbandment. And EOS's record should only show that Hellkit worked at Hydra Bank. There have been no updates for 6 years. They seemingly disappeared from Etheria. Both the Union and Sybil suggest their records were intentionally wiped. Both the Union and Bureau suspect they might be linked to the supposedly eradicated RCS. RCS. Right. RCS is largely responsible for spreading Genesis in Etheria. As the biggest anti-EOS and anti-Etheria group, they've been quiet under pressure from the Defense and Security Bureau from recent years. But they're not completely gone. If Hellkit and RC-77 are backed by RCS, their comeback can only mean new trouble for Etheria. But what do they want with Sonia? It's impossible to infer at this point. Sonia's third animal reaction and her losing control could be a result of their experiments. Vessel, archetype, these terms must be connected to Genesis. Right, the Bureau seems determined to retrieve Sonia, issuing a direct order for her return. But finding them won't be easy. Though Hellkit and RC-77 vanished again, there's still hope. Don't worry, we got a lead. Meanwhile, E07. You're finally here, number 41. RC-77, shouldn't you be with Hellkit? Why are you here? I helped Hellkit. Now I need your help with something. My help? Heinrich already agreed to your experiments. What else do you need? Heinrich is a good sample for Kururu's final evolution, but we need more animal energy based on my calculations. I've added 20 power engines, but we still need speed for high quality animal energy. RC-77, this is a critical moment. If anything goes wrong, don't worry, as long as you can get enough feed, I'm confident this time. And Kururu's final evolution data will also benefit your plans, right? Just handle your part. I'll inform Hellkit. Fine, I'll arrange it now. As RC-77 heads to E07 to meet number 41, that's a lot of numbers, Ray also arrives in E07. Are you sure it's Viper? I can assure you, with all honesty, it's true. But if you need more specific intel, you need to go to K. Ah, K is here too. If you really want to go there, find Aria. She can help you. Got it. Thanks, Viper. Drop by the shop sometime. Haven't seen each other in ages. Sure. At the same time, shelter E4923 in the real world. Mention leads.
手がかりを掴んだのはグレー
Well,
の
I couldn't find anything, but Gray's following in lead.
そろそろ連絡して
I'll check in with him and
調査の
see how he's
進展を聞い
doing.
てもしもしグレイ聞こえる
Hey, Gray, can you hear me?
あ
Loud and clear.
調査の進捗はどう
How's the investigation coming along?
E07 で
I
昔の
contacted
友
some
達
old
に聞い
friends.
て
They
みた
mentioned that half a year ago,
話によれ
Architect
ば
and Hellkid
半年
showed
前に
up
RC7
at the
と
fantasy
ヘル
club
シ
in
ングが
E07.
奴らは K
I
と
heard
接
they got
触
in
した
touch
こと
with
もある
K.
ようだ
Who's K? I never heard this person.
ファンタシークラブのトップね
K is the boss of the fantasy
彼は
club.
自分
He
一人の
single-handedly
力
turned
で
into
誰も知らないファン
E07's
タシー
biggest
クラブ
underground force.
私の知る限りでは
Getting info
ファ
from
ン
the
タシ
fantasy
ークラブ
club,
から情
let
報を
alone
手
meeting
に入れ
K,
るなん
is gonna be
て
tough.
何か手はあるのグレイ
Gray, got any suggestions?
K がシントから戻ってきてから
K's been off the grid
外に
since
は
his
一切
return
姿を見
from
せず
Shin Metropolis,
面会も全て
turning
断
down
った
all visitors, so we had no
も
chance
と
to
より
meet him.
だがファ
But
ンタシ
tomorrow's
ークラブ
different
にとっ
from
て
Fantasy
明
Club,
日は
making it the
特別な
perfect
日だ
chance to see him.
えなんで
Why is that?
ファンタシークラブは
Tomorrow
年に
marks the
一度
last
シ
day
ョーを
of
開催
club's
してるん
annual
だ
show, and
明
tradition
日は
dictates
その
K's
最終
attendance.
日とはいえ少々
But
面
getting
倒
in
が
might
あ
be
る
tough.
ショーが開催してる間
Entry during the
Fantasy
show is
Club
tight,
は厳しく
requiring
管理
special
される
tickets and a guide.
それに
Also, there's
本当かど
talk
うかは
that the
知らない
club
が
isn't too fond of
ファンタシー
hyperlinkers.
クラブでは
潜入するつてはある
Any thoughts?
ファンタシークラブに知り合い
I
が
have a contact inside the fantasy
彼女
club.
に彼女の協力が
With
あれ
her
ば
help, gaining
ファン
entry
タシ
should
ー
be
ク
an
ラブの
issue.
中には
どう思う
What do you think? Let's head over.
分かった今すぐ彼
Alright,
女に
I'll
連絡
contact
す
her
る
now and update you once
準備
everything's
できた
ready.
ら
ええじゃあい
Okay.
い知らせを待ってる
Wait
わ
for you
ね
to get news. Yeah, that should be it. You feel your answers lack combat experience, you can explore various places in Etheria first. Challenge. Let's take us your spare time to help answers grow quickly through battles. Keep it quick, remember our client's still waiting on us. Okay. That's stamina, that's... Oh! I can join a union now. I'm not gonna care too much about that right now. Do. Okay. Did I get more summons? I like how it's big dude and big dude with
どう
shield.
したのどこがぐ
And I think this is the last one. I want to say this is my 40th roll. I'll know after this. No, it's not. Okay. Okay, so I need one more pull. I'll be good with that. I believe they have this thing going on where whatever you spend during the beta, get like 50% of it back, which is kind of wild. So that's the PvP mode. I think I do that. I'll do that later. I'll stream probably. We'll just keep going and see if I do have to actually start grinding. But I prefer trying to use my stamina efficiently and not just throw it all away. Where was adventure mode again? Or how do I get into? Not there. Or are they going to force me to actually do the challenge mode first? Kind of crazy. Everybody's level 10. Okay, that's why. Interesting. Okay. In case I might as well do this. Oh, X3 speed.
即戦即決
今こそ夢立ちの時よ。
そらよ、自業自得だ。
よみがえれ。
It doesn't feel like X3 speed.
燃えろ。少し休憩しよう。
No, I think that's a
まだやるべ
lie.
きことがたくさんある。
I don't think that's X3 speed. It feels more like 2.5. If I'm completely honest.
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。一緒に耳を傾けて。
炎はすべての罪を燃やし尽くす。
ついてこい。逃がすか。
燃えろ。
目覚めこそ恵みなのよ。
はっ。みんなは休憩していろ。後片付けは俺がやっておく。
仲間を傷つけたいならまずこの剣に聞け。
I wonder if I'm actually getting
夢立ちの時よ。
player EXP for this.
逃がすか。
I would assume I am.
うかつだった。
プレゼントがいっぱい用意してありますよ。大丈夫。
ついてこい。自業自得だ。うかつだった。
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。一緒に耳を傾けて。
敵がまだいるかもしれない。警戒を怠るな。
Okay, I am getting some, but it's not fast at all. Expedition 33 is definitely better. 100%.
邪魔をするな。
But I suppose what I guess what you call is a problem with Expedition 33 is that it's not endless. Eventually you run out of content.
夢立ちの時よ。よみがえれ。
よっと逃がすか。
燃えろ。
目覚めこそ恵みなのよ。
But also be real for a moment. It doesn't take a game like
手強いやつだ。
Expedition 33 to show how bare bones gacha games are, you know? That's been a thing for a very long time.
や。
ついてこい。自業自得だ。
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。一緒に耳を。今夜はいい夢が見られそうね。
Like, I would argue that Fire Emblem Heroes is a much inferior version of the Fire Emblem series. And that was like 10 years ago at this point. Close to 10 years ago. It doesn't take forever. I just keep going until I get hard gapped. Guess so.
冒険の始まりです。今こそ夢立ちの時よ。
そらよ。逃がすか。
This Switch is kind of crazy. I would not buy it for one game. Yeah. Unless you were really looking forward to a certain game. Buying a console for one game is always been crazy. But we do it all the time. Like, I basically bought a PS5 to get Final Fantasy 16.
や。少し休憩しよう。まだやるべきことがたくさんある。
Because originally that was going to be an exclusive, if I remember correctly. And then it wasn't.
戦闘準備だ。
Oh wait, no, I'm a liar. It wasn't for Final Fantasy 16, it was for Stellar Blade.
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。一緒に耳を傾けて。
炎は全ての罪を燃やし尽くす。
ついてこい。自業自得だ。
燃えろ。
But to your point, the price on the Switch 2 is
恵みなのよ。
obnoxiously high.
部活だった。
My friend still pre-ordered it though.
大丈夫。プレゼントがいっぱい用意してありますよ。
But I'm mostly a PC gamer now. So it has to take a lot for me to actually buy a console now.
大丈夫。
Especially since now a lot of the games that used to be console exclusive have been pushing towards making Steam versions.
今こそ夢立ちの時よ。
敵がまだいるかもしれない。警戒を怠るな。
Yeah, get a Steam Deck for 100 more and have a way larger library, right? Like a way larger library. It's not even close. Let's see. Well, I know who I'm going to keep, so let me just buff them. Oh, West.
力があるからこそ自らの意志で確かな選択をできる。
一緒に夢へ入りたいの？言っておくけど、夢の
That
中
would
って
push you
危
to
険なのよ。
25. Wow, why is this so hard? Just click.
理想主義者がかわいそうだとは思わない。
Wow, okay.
彼らは夢で見たものを実現しようとしているだけだから。夢が燃えているわ。
力があるからこそ自らの意志で確かな選択をできる。悪くない。みんなから見れば安全防務所から出る。
Good evening, Taryn. Yeah. Phase 1 or basically build up Leon. Seems like seek your higher
一
modules.
緒に夢へ入り。
私の鞘に触れるなよ。やけどするぞ。
I see. Hope you're having a good time. Excuse me. Wait, what else is here? Ah, okay. Okay. Is sus? Depends on what you mean by sus, but I guess these two are
私の
sus.
鞘に触れるなよ。
Choose more sus.
夢へ入りたいの？言っておくけど、夢の中って危険なのよ。
人生は逆行の旅。
風紀を正すこと。本名を呼ぶんじゃな
Not
い。
you.
休む暇などありません。
She's a- she's a- she's a little sus.
次に私の
She's very sus.
私と協力すればリスクはお忘れ。
She's vanilla.
時々
Super
自分の想
vanilla.
像で驚くことがあるんです。
何か手伝うか？
And he's sus as fuck. Humans have an extra damage effect. Would they go yandere if they go sussy? I'm gonna say no for right now. There doesn't seem to be any master love elements going on at the moment.
私の力が必要かしら。私でいいのですか？
No, no, go back.
誰も遅刻してないわよね。
よみがえれ。 今こそ夢立ちの時よ。
ついてこい。逃がすか。
燃えろ。
Off mechanics. Stack increases the attack by 100%.
手強いやつだ。
That cannot be dispelled. Doki Doki does not participate in the battle combat directly, but summons different enemies to challenge the player. These enemies have additional advanced reductions to remove.
プレゼントがいっ
Okay.
ぱい用意してありますよ。
手強いやつだ。
Don't kill my healer, please.
はっ。
しゃあ自業自得だ。
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。一緒に耳を傾けて。少し休憩しよう。
Okay, that was easy
まだ
now.
やるべきことがたくさんある。
I wish to go yonder, eh? Not gonna lie. How do I get more EXP actually? How do I get more player EXP? I guess is the better question. So I guess we roam around here and see how that happens. Oh, I think it's based on stamina now that I really think about it. Yeah, that's what I think it is. So the more stamina I spend, the quicker I can get this done. Okay, I can do my last roll. That way I can confidently use all my EXP on characters that I actually want to use. Good evening, Zeriskin.
この怒り、貴様に受け止められるか?
Damage. 10% of her max HP to a
美
single
しい
enemy.
過
Oh,
去など
okay.
もう
So
思い
she's
出せ
HP
ない。
based. That's why she's so
ただ
important.
怒りと恨みが我の傷口からは流れ出ている。
She ends up being tanky. Yeah, hang around for a bit. Been going anywhere.
生と死は果てのない巡りである。
But is she the hottest though? That's the question. I don't know. She looks very good. I don't know.
あなたも私の歌を聴きたいですか?
Good evening, Lontran. You made some pixel art spears? Let me see. Oh, that looks really good, actually.
ファンですか?
I'm not sure what the last one is supposed to be, though.
少し苦手
Is
で
that
す.
supposed to be electricity? Oh, you're a healer. Healer. Very interesting. Lightning spear. Okay. That's what I thought. Her shoe is also pretty good too. Deals damage, cooldown reduction, and extra turn. So she would replace your boy. Um, I'll say this for sure, the artwork looks really good. She's crazy. I might like her immediately.
ほらほら厳しい顔しないで笑って笑って天才であるこの私は
What's the verdict on the game so far? It's
奴らにはクリエイティビティのかけらもないもん
they kind of talk too much, I'll say that much. The story-wise, jury's still out on that. Gameplay-wise, I can say it's up front. I can say it's probably better than Honkai Star Rail. Just from like the few hours I played, I think it's already better than Honkai Star Rail. But honestly, Honkai Star Rail was never, gameplay-wise, it was never that good in the first place. It was had a lot of spectacle, but it was never that good in the first place in terms of gameplay and satisfaction, you know what I mean. So the bar was kind of low on that in the first place. The game overall, I think some people have been a solid meh. To be honest, I think a lot of people are beginning to realize that single player games are way better than gacha games overall. So I feel like some people have been not necessarily judging gacha games too harshly, but rather their expectations have been influenced by playing single player games. Because for me personally, I've always known that for the most part, gacha games have been gameplay wise inferior to single player games. What usually sets them apart is what their goal is otherwise, besides money, of course. Like in terms of telling a good story, I think gacha games have some of the best stories out there, like Girls Frontline and Nikkei. Which is why I'm judging the story more than the gameplay here, because if we go purely by gameplay, it works. You can say it's meh, but it's not going to be on a level of a single player game that actually tries to do well, like Expedition 33. But even without Expedition 33, you have the Persona games, you have S&T games, you have the Mario Luigi series, Super Mario RPG, Valkyria Chronicles, Valkyrie Profile. There's so many single player games that would knock the majority, if not all, gacha games out the water. So in terms of the gacha sphere, gameplay wise, it's solid. Yeah, in terms of the gacha sphere, it's solid. Story wise, is still we still need to look more into it. At the beginning, there's too much talking, like way too much talking. They have the talking head problem that Honkai Star Rail usually has, or a Hoyoverse game has in general, where you just stand there and talk and just see their mouth movements, and that's about it. But the first 3 chapters, it was kind of bad, and you didn't see it on stream because I skipped all of that. Honestly, it did get to the point where I started skipping cutscenes because I just got bored. The stuff I did start to show on stream, the dialogue has gotten snappier, and they cleaned up on the conversations a lot from what I just played. So I think they just had that introduction problem where they spent a lot of time doing the exposition dumps, trying to get like all of the world building out up in front, instead of it being more organic So we'll have to see how it goes. Long story short, because I talked a lot there, to summarize it in a couple of sentences, I am looking forward to seeing how this game progresses, and I want to explore the game more before I give a final verdict. Yeah, they do a lot of lore dumping in the first 3 chapters, and to the point where it gets pretty boring. You guys can be very glad that you didn't sit here for that. And now the question is, are the girls hot? You can be the judge of that, I guess. Do you think she's hot?
バラを求める道のりには茨があるものよ。だけど渇望する者のために血を捧げることもある意味忠誠と言えるわね。
And bus stealing. Bus stealing is actually pretty busted. But I'm assuming that's a PvP skill more than a PvE skill. Yeah, one of the good things that honestly the Hoyoverse games in general do is that a lot of the lore bits, they tend to make it as supplementary material. So they put it in either an archive, or they literally put it on a YouTube video. I know people recommend Tiamat the most. Egon? That name doesn't sound familiar to me. Hold on. Yeah, I never played this before, actually. Egon. Probably this came out 2 years ago. Did it go EOS? Well, from what I just researched, it just didn't do well. It flopped, more or less. Didn't make any money, but I never played it, so it might be a marketing thing. Let me get a drink real quick, because my throat is, I don't know, something wrong with my throat. Live support by Billy. That makes sense. So kind of like how Ghost 491 was on live support by Yuzong. That makes sense. Okay. That's flashy.
退屈なら私と一緒に第13区高等学校を見て回ろう。
What's your buff? Recent attack increases speed. I do like that. Is it AoE buff or just one person? An ally and her own. Okay.
私の意見を聞く。
Oh, wrong button. Okay. Oh, I kind of just want her because she's hot. Also reminds me of Zero from Drakengard 3. Those look heavy, ma'am.
言葉で表せないものを私の歌声に込めて。
AoE healing. And one turn immunity. Hold on. Never receive any debuffs. Okay, that's what it means. That's actually kind of good.
ファンですか。熱心なファンは少し苦手です。
You know what, I do like
言
her.
葉で表せない。
I kind of want her. But everyone recommends getting her instead.
くだらぬことで我の安眠を邪魔するな。
It's a taunt. She deals damage with max HP instead of attack, which is honestly kind of broken. But shields on all allies.
果てのない巡りである。生命は死から誕生し、
I can see why people recommend her. It's really down to these two. This one because she's super recommended. This one because she's hot. I want to flip a coin. I think there's a coin like in the other room. Okay, I flipped the coin and it's told me to go waifu, so we're going waifu. I have to go over Rappy's voice. I don't know the Japanese voice, so I can't say for that for sure. But yeah, we're going waifu.
あなたのために歌えて嬉しいです。
Okay, so now this one's done. So if I want to pull any more, I think it's just better to... No. If you want to get permanent units, you just do the permanent summons. Yuzhong was wild just keeping Ghost Online alive this long, not gonna lie. I understand it though. You know. It just means that he's very passionate about the project. If I remember correctly, he actually did a chapter in Reverse Class by himself. Not by himself, but he actually written it. He was the main writer for a chapter. And I can probably guess what the chapter he wrote was. Like, passion trumps everything. Really. He's definitely silly for spending so much money, keeping the games afloat, and being super ambitious about it, even though he doesn't really get anything out of it. But it's one of those cases where we can genuinely say YOLO. YOLO. You only live once. You might as well spend the time on this earth doing what you actually want to do. Especially since he's in the position to do it. And yeah, I know you don't have any complaints. You say it paid off. Yeah, exactly. Perseverance can definitely do that. Now, well, he's always been making a ton of money, but you can say it got to a point where his work on the series has finally been recognized worldwide, I guess you can say. It's always been recognized both in China and in Korea, but globally speaking, not really. Not to Ghost Frontline 2. And to think that only really happened because of the dorm system. Right, I'm going to the wrong thing. I'm going to go to formation. Hey, I'm not wrong. It's silly, but you can't say I'm wrong. Right, all that stuff. Yeah, let's just do challenge mode and push for EXP. How a dorm system saved my life. Like his Conco's case. Everyone I know heard of it, but it still remain JP only. So by that revenue, Ghost Frontline embraces the inside a bit. Yeah, finally. But only because they saw the money roll through. And to be completely honest, if it wasn't for the fact that China did so poorly, that opportunity may not have actually happened. Because I'm pretty sure that Ghost Frontline 2 was not what one would consider in the business doing well in China. So I'm sure it came to a huge shock to them that Global was spending a lot more money on the game than China was. Try their own, yeah. It's always just one of those things that's just... It's interesting how things happen, right? Okay, so can we do continuous battles here? Now, is this just one fight, or do we have to sit here and do these fights the entire way through? I think it's just... go in the background. Information my battlefield, stopping continuous battle. Okay. Okay. See, I forgot to stay here for 8 battles. That's funny. I think they should have done a sweep function. But oh well. But it is funny, right? Like the dorm system being a thing that saved the franchise, because that was how the word of mouth spread. Because it was mostly a Twitter thing, to be honest. Like Twitter just blew the fuck up whenever a character shows up, and then they're in like their dorm outfits, and they're in their poses. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of a bad way to do this. If it's on mobile, sure, because that means you can run in the background. And technically you can on PC as well, but yeah, a little weird. Because we can't continue the story until I get player level 10. Means I think I'm stuck. I don't regret getting her though. She's very nice to look at. Alright, while I'm doing that, I can just go ahead and actually fix my fix some things for my stream. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So I'm thinking here, if they're gonna force you to go through every fight manually, technically manually, you can't auto battle obviously, but if there's no sweep function, I'll say the best thing to do is actually to push as far as you can. That way you get the first time rewards. That's more efficient on your stamina.
うかつだった。
この歌
ついてこい。逃がすか。
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。
一緒に耳を傾けて。
カーテンコールには祝う声が
It will never stop being fascinating to me how a trio of friends with YZ, when separating, each of them built their own imp. Yeah, it's like the their anime arc, right? It's like these three friends, these three nobles were friends, and then disagreement made them enemies, and then they separated, and they went to different lands and conquered them, and built their own empires for the hopes that one day they'll fight each other for dominance.
"仲間を傷つけたいならまずこの剣に聞け。炎は全ての罪を燃やし尽くす。
今こそ夢立ちの時よ。
しゃあ、自業自得だ。
大丈夫。
燃えろ。
That said, I would say YZ got the worst of it. It's still really good. What he ended up building, but I say he probably got the worst of it. He profited the least. Is a better way to put it, I think.
手強いやつだ。蘇れ。
ついてこい。逃がすか。
歌いましょ
燃えろ。
う。砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。
一緒に耳。
今夜はいい夢が見られそうね。
The rest were 50-50, yeah. For sure. Yeah, he sure as hell made it work, though.
一緒に夢へ入りたいの？
I do respect him for
言
that.
っておくけど、
力があるからこそ自らの意志で確かな選択。
楽しい夢と悪夢は
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where I'm like, damn, I hope I have like nearly as enough preservation as he did.
言葉で表せないものを私の歌声に一緒に夢へ入りたいの？言っておくけど夢の中って
力があるからこそ自らの意志で確かな選
Get
択を
more
できる。
Dumage. I don't want to spend too much money though. These are like garbage compared to everything else.
悪く内部情報をあまり漏らさないように知らない方がいいことも。
Can't clear. No. Okay. I guess ultimately the biggest issue that YZ ran into was just times changing. I would say he's one of the old guard, where he likes to make serious stories with hot waifus. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like even for Code Bakery, I think most people would agree that Jetty at the very least was cute. A little of an abomination in nature. Hey, but that abomination can still have kids. I think she wants to off them. Yeah, kind of. More like she stopped giving a fuck. I guess it's the best way to put it. Unfortunately, the whole thing with the kids doesn't really get much screen time. All I'm saying is that you can win the video game with Jeffy. It's not like with the T-Doll, like, oh, I tamed a T-Doll. The T-Doll likes me a lot. That's pretty good. I guess we'll just hug all day. And maybe that's good enough, right? Nah, if you tame Jeffy, you win the video game. Though that also makes me wonder, can Shrikes get pregnant? I think that's the real question we should be asking. Imagine somebody opening sugar. I would owe sugar. Why not? Like, if you can get enough of an affinity to oath sugar, you had to be some kind of badass, right? Like a super badass. To tame someone like Sugar enough. Maniacs all of you. I'm just saying, if you can tame Sugar enough that she will fall in love with you, I think you had to be some sort of badass. Am I wrong?
即戦即決よみがえれ
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる
Now, strikes are a different story because strikes didn't really have personalities in the first place, so.
しゃあ自業自得だ
燃えろ
You know, she's part of the Eura NC, people still simp for her. I think Sugar being part of the Eura NC is like the least damning thing about her. To be completely honest.
手強いやつだ
海流が全てを慰めるの
やっやっ手強いやつだ
せい
この歌
Sugar probably feels love? Probably. I mean, she certainly has personality, right? So there should be something there. She should be able to feel positive things at the very least. And if she can feel positive feelings, she probably can feel love, even if she doesn't recognize it.
手強いやつだ
She's just a little obsessed with, you know, with the whole murder. She loves murder, so.
目覚めこそ恵みなのよやっはっ歌いましょう
せい
炎は全ての罪を燃やし尽くす
15's like the Hulk, but she's a T-doll. You know, the freaking. All I say is that, don't let 15 be on top of you.
今夜はいい夢が見られそうね
You have to train 15 to be a bottom. Otherwise, she'll die.
仲間を傷つけたいならまずこの剣によみがえれ
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる一緒に耳を傾けて
そうだよ自業自得だ
燃えろ
But you know, who would also be like probably a surprisingly good wife, but is actually like super evil? Lucica. I think it's Lucia or Lucica. I want to say it's Lucica though. I think she's probably like a fantastic wife, even though she's evil as fuck.
海流が全てを慰めるの
炎は全ての罪を燃やし尽くす
People forget how strong T-dolls are. Well, the thing about T-dolls is that they're heavily trained to not hurt humans. So I think for the majority of them, if they're on top, then they'll just be careful. But I don't think 15 can be careful.
目覚めこそ恵みなのよ
みんなは休憩していろ後片付けは俺がやっておく
Just don't risk it with AK-15.
嘘の声が聞こえ
よみがえれ
る砕かれた夢が叫んでいる一緒に耳を傾けて
燃えろ
違反行為は全て取り締まる
よっと
Which part, Recon? I said a lot of crazy shit just now. Oh, this is a good part. Okay. I don't know. Personally, I like her. I like her supposed arc, but we didn't see her arc play out. Because her whole thing is just being this. She's had an extreme desire of being loved, right? Well, not just loved, but also acknowledged. But I think another comes down to love. But she will probably end the world. Yeah, it's that thing. Like, she's honestly very fixable. Like, in terms of like her moral compass, she's not that bad. And honestly, she's way more fixable than RPK 16. Are soft and squishy. That's one way of putting it. RPK is unfixable, period. That won't stop people from trying. It is shocking how much giant tits, it's shocking how much leeway you get by having giant tits. Like, for me personally, I think if it gets to a point, I can fix it. She can fix me. I think it gets to a point where your significant other will willingly lie to you. How can you trust them on anything, you know? It doesn't matter how hot or how good the relationship was in the past. If it comes down to betrayal, how can you trust that person again, you know? That's always how I thought about RPK. Even though I see RPK as a really fun character, and personally I like her, but before, I liked her a lot before the whole betrayal thing. You know, she betrayed you, so basically, even the stuff that you liked about her could have been a lie. So whenever I think about that, I just think, yeah, because she works very well. Yeah, as a character, yes. But if you were in an actual relationship with her, you should not, you know, put your everything on her, you know? Like, you shouldn't keep chasing her after she betrayed you. That type of thing, is what I mean. Is Sugar fixable? That depends. Do you think she's broken in the first place? I think if you're trying to get with Sugar, you're accepting some uniqueness with her, if you know what I mean. I agree, but I like to see a story where by magic, not technology, she became human. No superhuman ability, just a normal human. I'm curious how quickly she realized being a human sucks. Yeah, sure, we can talk about that. So I do have some thoughts on Embla in particular. I do think Embla was a very huge wasted opportunity. For sure. Because one of the thoughts I had when I was really thinking about Embla is that instead of having what happened in Zero Charge, what if she actually was, like her goal actually was to just become a human. And then she realized, oh, well, there's nothing special about being a human. And then she goes through like the 5 stages of grief or whatever, like, and I lost so much uniqueness with without my frame, without being a doll. But then she comes to accept being a human. And then what if she actually felt bad? What if she actually felt bad about stealing the body and more or less killing Angelia? There's like a lot of significance behind that. Like maybe not do like a redemption arc, but you know, had those feelings actually explored. And I think that would have been a lot better than what we got, to be completely honest. Yeah, I think it'd be very interesting. Because what we got, it wasn't bad, but it feels like a lot of opportunity was wasted. It did kind of feel like a rush to kind of close that plot thread, rather than exploring a doll experiencing a human body. Yeah, Chan. That's the big thing. It did feel like that they had to rush it, and I think she actually barely had a chance to actually experience the body. Like what? I think she only had like a few days. I want to say a few days of being Embla. I know for a fact it wasn't long at all. Okay. On kind of given how it was written, it did make sense taking her out, given that her whole point was to show that Yeah, like, I'm not complaining that the writing doesn't make sense, because it does make sense. But I think, okay, I'll say for me personally, that's not the direction I would have gone. There was a lot more they could have done with that. And it was such a huge point of contention for a lot of the story that it's kind of like, okay, Angelia died for this. You know? That's kind of like my feeling there. Or that RPK come back without any redemption arc. Work for early Vegeta. Well, early Vegeta did get a redemption arc, kind of, sort of. Well, no, I wouldn't say a redemption arc, but he fucking died. I guess it's like he died and then come back, and then he had his redemption arc. It took his son getting killed for that to happen, but yeah, he eventually got it. But more or less, Histoire, you're saying that you refer that RPK stays as a villain, more or less. I don't know. I think it's like, for me personally, RPK just feels wasted. There was so much setup, and I feel like the payoff of it was just not good. This is my personal opinion. I won't say it definitively. But for me personally, it feels like that they could have done a lot more with it. And half of it is probably because they were literally rushing to the end, because they only had a year left. But there's so much focus on RPK and what she did, and we couldn't even see her face to face with the commander, at least, you know? Like, RPK literally took effectively his soulmate. Effectively. And we couldn't even have a conversation with RPK about that. Another cool idea, a timeline where human RPK becomes the handler manager of Defy. That'd be kind of wild. But yeah, personally speaking, I just feel like, you know, Zero Charge was just a missed opportunity. That's all I really feel about that. Dimitri made Etheria more interesting. Yeah, for sure. It's hard to call Dimitri a antagonist. Only a antagonist to Klukai. But an antagonist overall, I wouldn't really say that. Wait, she was Shikakan's soulmate, like Nunesha? It's hard to say that Nunesha would even count as a soulmate, to be honest. But this is kind of like this is delving into the finale of Girls Frontline. But the big thing that Nunesha reveals to the commander is that in all timelines, both the commander and Angelia are always partners, no matter the timeline. They always meet up somehow, and they always come together somehow. So their relationship transcends all timelines, more or less, is what Lunacia was implying. Which is a very huge deal, to be honest. And of course, Lunacia's feelings for the commander transcends all timelines as well, but she's literally a goddess, so that's a little bit harder to count, you know? And then there's a whole thing with Kalina as well. It's like, well, did Angelia just literally superseded Kalina that with that too? Because as far as the story is saying, Kalina and the commander are the OTP. At least that's how I feel the story was trying to put them together. And then suddenly it's like, oh, but Angelia and the commander though, towards the very end. Need 200 of this, huh?
力があるからこそ自らの意志で確かな選択をできる。
I wonder, when did Lunacia gain these feelings for Shikikan from N4? From just timelines we don't know. So that's the fun part. So I'm redoing episode 1, right? And as I read through the early chapters, hindsight is 20/20. If you look for it, you can definitely see the points where M4 is gaining feelings for the commander. And the story does kind of sort of make an effort to point this out. But it's still too subtle. And I guess the intensity of her feelings doesn't match the focus of the story, more or less. Because, like, how do we go from M4 having growing feelings with the commander to Lunacia, who was literally going to kill herself if she doesn't see the commander? So yeah, that's very extreme. That's an extreme difference. But there is definitely hints in the story pointing out that the commander and M4 are close. Like, you're saying there is some timeline where Kalina is our enemy or any other doll. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Well, objectively speaking, there's endless possibilities, right? Like, if we live in a if we're in a concept of the multiverse, that means there are infinite possibilities and literally anything can happen. All Lunacia is really saying is that Angelia and the commander are always friends, at the very least. Regardless of the timeline or of the dimension or whatever. So yeah, objectively speaking, that should mean that there are possibilities where there are circumstances that would put the commander and Kalina on opposite sides. That's what the implication is. As hard as it is to think that that would be the case. It's just one of those things where you have to take it or leave it, I guess you can say. Like, would we even want to take the whole soulmate thing seriously in the first place? Because Lunacia isn't perfect. She couldn't have seen every single timeline. Oh my god, you're a you can't Angelia take on the world as possible. It's possible, yeah. Like I said, in infinite timelines, infinite possibilities.
一緒に夢へ入りたいの？言っておくけど、言葉で表せないものを私の歌声に込めて。
X up at 10, okay. Lena has a lot of care for the commander, but it was working with him that she got to care for him. If not, she was struggling by. Yeah. And there's also there. It may not even be the case where it's like the Kalina and the commander are enemies. It could just be that Kalina it just isn't part of the story for that timeline. Because you are right, Kruger is the biggest point, or the biggest turning point for Kalina's life, because before then she was homeless and an orphan. So there's probably, or definitely, more than likely, definitely, timelines where Kalina just died before Kruger found her, or before anyone found her. Like died to unfortunate circumstances. So it may not be a case where Kalina and the commander became enemies. It could just be that Kalina just wasn't alive, or wasn't in that position to meet the commander in the first place. I don't know what is worse there, yeah. But based on what I'm thinking about? Based on how Nirvana works, there's always going to be a starting point, right? So we first need to figure out the starting point of Nirvana, of M4's Nirvana, I should say. It's the point that it's fixed, and everything before that is also fixed because it has to reach to that point. So World War III has to always happen. I'm pretty sure that has to be the case, because if it's Lunatia's Nirvana, that means Lunatia has to be born and she has to be in a position to actually get into Nirvana. So that mainly deals with World War III. That mainly deals with Paradise doing her thing, doing their thing on her and all that stuff. So there's always going to be a point where you have Commander's history. I'm not going to talk about Commander's history unless you guys really want me to talk about Commander's history, because he does have canon history that I can talk about. Angelia should always have her history intact, where she lost her parents and she ended up meeting Martha and all that stuff. And Lunatia should always get dragged into Paradise. Like, those two things always have to happen. So we at the very least can say the possibilities aren't so infinite that we may get to a point where the commander and Angelia are actually Resartress, you know? That may not actually happen, based on what has to happen in order for all this to work in the first place. One question: is it true that M4 Natia said she destroyed all timelines to make one timeline? That is in the finale. So specifically speaking, what is supposed to happen is that once M4 was sealed away, that would cause all of the other timelines that that she observed to more or less disappear, because M4 would no longer be able to rig the timelines anymore. So the timeline where Commander would quote-unquote kill Lunacia would be the timeline that is the true timeline, because that is a timeline where Lunacia died in, and that would cause all the other timelines to go away. If we take her literally, then technically yes, all the other timelines would be destroyed. But there is some logistical issues with that. The main question being, how does that actually happen? Maybe she actually just meant that she couldn't change the timeline anymore, not that they'd be destroyed. It's that type of stuff. And also, going by Girls Frontline 2, that's obviously not true because Natia is active. Now, of course, she's observing and hasn't really done anything, supposedly. But it's not like she has no control at all. She still has control of the timeline. She's just choosing not to interfere, at the very least. So, there's still a lot of confusions on what Lunacia and Nirvana can actually do. And it's still very ambiguous. We still need to get some concrete answers from the story. So hopefully they'll address that sooner than later. With the way how everything is set up at the starting point, it should be impossible for the commander to become a Resartrist. Yeah, it should be impossible, based on the values that has already been set on him. Defined fucking... there is a unified place. It's called Rule 34. Oh, official art. Oh, okay. Then I guess the best you got is the official Twitters.
新しい依頼でもあるのか?
And it's all just a matter of waiting. And waiting sucks, by the way, but that's all we got. No, I can't do anything with this. Okay. Wait, can I think I can still level my characters. Back. Not Union.
力があるからこそ。
一緒に言葉で表せないものを
No, I
私の
can't.
歌声に
Okay.
込めて。
Challenge. Oh, well, that quest. Okay. Twitter also works for that. That's true. You can try using Safe Burrow. Honestly, you can try Donboro as well, or Gelboro. One of the boroughs, anyways. And then do a search for Ghost Frontline, and then just add on the tag official art, and you get all official art that way too. But it's a hit or miss if literally everything will show up, because it depends on the user to upload that stuff to the website. In all of Etheria, you may occasionally discover some special clues. Combine them to deduce hidden secrets. We're gonna read that later. Female commander needs more art. She has a lot of art actually, just not of the actual Ghost Frontline 2 commander art. It's a little weird because I think like I want to say non-English speakers actually don't like the way how the Ghost Frontline 2 commander looks. Female, I mean. They're cool with the male one, but the female one, I think they actually don't like that. I think they would prefer her being closer to the default look of the Ghost Frontline 2 female. Not the Ghost Frontline 2, but the Ghost Frontline 1 female. They want her to be closer to that default look, so she would have either black or brown hair. First challenge, there it is. Personally, I'm fine with the female commander. I just wish she had bigger boobs. That's basically it. Same.
ついてこい。自業自得だ。
燃えろ。少し休憩しよう。まだやるべきことがたくさんある。即戦即決。炎はすべての罪を燃やし尽くす。
I wish they actually made her a bit more different from the Jin Tian look. For me personally, I think that is my biggest issue with the female commander for Ghost Frontline 2. Like, she just looks pretty much exactly like Jin Tian, just a little bit older, and I think that's the actual mistake. If they actually made like her concept art, her actual Ghost Frontline 2 look, I think it would go a lot better. Because in that one, she actually has like a side ponytail. And I think that looks different enough that it would enhance her look more. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Either more different or just go all in. Because it's very clear that they were influenced by Jin Tian. which may be a good thing or a bad thing for some people, because you know Jintian is associated with the anime. That wasn't very good. Okay, to talk about this game real quick. I think it was a really bad idea to put a roadblock in here this early. I think it's a really bad idea.
砕かれた夢が叫んでいる。
Like, I might be doing something wrong. Like, maybe like something I don't actually know about that a lot of people level up a bit quicker. But just the fact that you have to do 2 or 3 levels in order to do the next stage, that's kind of crazy. I think it's a really bad idea. Why put in that roadblock? And it's not like there's a lot of modes unlocked either. I'll try exploring more and seeing if there's like other options. Just because, you know, I don't know the whole game yet. But as it stands right now, it's like, why? Jintian Kyoshi goes hard. It does. I like Jintian's look overall. Yeah, I probably had to play more off stream, to be honest, just so I can get to the good part. Explore it more, but yeah, after this I'll do some exploring, seeing what else is there. Right now it's pretty nutty. Because right now, I think what this game has to do right now is show me what the hook for this game is. Right now, I'm not seeing the hook. They have one more? We have one more. No, 2 more. Never mind. It just looks like an average gacha game. Yeah. I mean, it looks really good. That's what it has going for it over a lot of gacha games, to be honest. Yeah, Pokey. That's the general consensus I got from non-English speakers. They rather have the default female from Ghost from Line 1. Instead of the Jinsei look.
燃えろ。少し休憩しよう。まだやるべきことがたくさん。
This light? I never played this light, so I don't know what that is.
仲間を傷つけたいなら
I couldn't compare
ま
it.
ずこの剣に聞け。炎王はすべての罪を燃やし
The
尽くす。
easiest comparison I can make to this game is Honkai Star Rail. I played a good amount of Honkai Star Rail.
一緒に耳を傾けて。
The cat smash sheep.
燃えろ。 手強いやつだ。
I just think that they should have just, you know, made Jinsei more feminine, or either more feminine or more masculine. One of the two. I would say they go more feminine if they had to make a choice.
今こそ夢立ちのと夢の中であなたたちを弔ってあげる。
That's about my only complaint. Okay, let's go back and see what else we got here. We can do these. Yeah, so these are all locked. What else do we have? These don't give you anything. Is there like a rewards here or no? I go into arena. There's the union that I'm not doing, at least not yet. Hyperlink charter. I guess the actual thing you should do is do these, I suppose. They didn't give you extra EXP though, they just give you more rewards. So, to be more specific, what would you want the female commander to be in Girls Frontline 2? Just describe it to me. That way I have a good idea of what you guys actually want from the female commander. Because I'm playing male commander and I don't really have much desire to play female commander. So this is kind of out of my wheelhouse. I don't have any stakes here. Take the spotlight from Ange. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean. No. it feels male-oriented. That's always going to be an argument. Personally, I agree with that. It does feel male-oriented. But a lot of people would say, why does that matter? And then if you say, dude, where did I get my EXP from? What the fuck? How did I reach level 10? I was level 9 before. What the fuck? Was it from this? I don't know. I have no idea how this game works. Okay, I'm level 10 now, so we can finally move on. At the very least. So apparently there was something that I should have done besides what I did beforehand. Homie, why would I end hard-earned currency for outfits? Crazy. Mel Shikikan and Andrew be a interesting power couple. They kind of already were, if I'm completely honest. They just never tired to not. One of these problems and drink, I think. So I do think, I guess I can be a little controversial since just you guys. There is a fair amount of stuff in Girls from Line 1 that says that this should have been a male character. Just with the way how the commander talks sometimes, the way how he addresses some females. He never shows any real attraction towards anyone, but he always had, like, once he got a full speaking role, he always had like a sense of masculinity in him. At least that's how I felt about it. And on the other spectrum, I have never felt any female traits within him. Obviously that changes with the anime, but they also made Jin Tian feminine in the anime and the manga. So there's a clear difference between the two. And I think one of the biggest issues with writing gender neutral avatars and giving them large speaking roles is that it really comes down to the writer. And whoever is writing that character is going to inevitably put themselves into that character because they're meant to be a blank slate. So you can't really have both sides to it. You can't just have like a non-speaking gender neutral avatar and not have them important. Or rather, if you want to make them important, you can't keep them as like a gender neutral avatar. If you want to make them important and have an impact, they need to have agency. And if you're going to give them agency, you kind of need to fill in that hole. And yeah, he's been through so much now that he's his own character, which I think the entire community agrees that he's his own character. He still has like an avatar-ish role, but that's only really with oathing your dolls, more or less. I don't think it goes anything beyond that in terms of being your avatar. Good evening, Dylan. I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Yeah, I haven't done a lot of silent protag roles in gacha games for a while. For the most part, I think modern gacha games, I kind of stopped doing that because they realized that it doesn't work too much, or it doesn't work well anymore. It's typically a lot better for them to actually just give them a personality. But don't fill in, or don't flesh them out, more or less, so that your characters, or that the player can still feel them as an avatar. So they're trying to do like a middle of a road type of thing, which is why there's so many characters, or so many protagonists in gacha games that just conveniently have amnesia. And yeah, Wise and Bells and Zenless Zone Zero are an example of protagonists that actually are defined from the very beginning, and the story works a lot better with that, in my opinion. Just getting the live stream, I just woke up from a nap. No problem. To be honest, you didn't miss too much. I just had to do a lot of grinding in order to get to the next part of the story. So I guess you can say I'm not that hyped to get to the next part, because it's honestly pretty silly that you have to grind 2 levels that early on. Self-inserts really work on a narrative level. It really depends on how much of a self-insert they are. The game isn't that great. The gacha game is a gacha game, I guess is the best way to put it. It looks good. The characters look good. The battle system is better than Honkai Star Rail, but the Honkai Star Rail, in terms of its gameplay mechanics, is rock bottom compared to a lot of RPGs. So that's not really not much of a compliment, I guess the best way to put it. It's not much of a positive. I am interested in seeing what more the story is, but it's just shitty that I did 3 stages, and then, or 4 stages, and then the game says, okay, time to grind 2 levels, and then I just tried to get 2 levels, and turns out you can't do any sweeps. You had to actually watch like 8 auto battles in a row, and then you still don't get a single level. So I guess you can say the pacing is off. By the way, I love this track, by the way. The music is actually really good in this game so far. Oil shows get angry when someone says Gen 1 Pokemon has more mechanics than the HSR. Gen 1 Pokemon does have more mechanics than HSR. Yes. At least at the very beginning. The only real thing that HSR has over Gen 1 Pokemon was the brake system. But as far as self-inserts are concerned, there's really it's really just, in terms of self-inserts, I think the ones who do it best is Atlas. That's with both Persona and the S&T series. They're like the old, to me anyways, that feels like that's the only company that can actually do like a narrative story with self-inserts extremely well. Only rework in RPG style, but even then, they don't work that well. Not without like a lot of vigorous work, which is why I keep referencing Atlas. I feel like they're the only ones that actually do it well. Western RPGs, I would say that's because the method of storytelling is vastly different. Because with JRPGs, they have a linear storyline, right? While most of the time, Western RPGs allows you to do whatever the hell you want. And so it's less about putting you through a linear storyline and wanting to tell you a story, and more about here's the world, you make your own story. So I think a big thing is like Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is kind of like your do-it-yourself storyline, right? But that's like the tippity top, right? BioWare games, back then anyways, like when it comes to BioWare, I think of the Old Republic. The first one, KOTOR 1. That was a self-insert, and that one had a linear storyline, but it allowed you to be good or evil or neutral in some cases. Same with Bethesda too. Yeah, that's true too. I'm not as versed with Bethesda. Yeah, but I was thinking about Morrowind and Oblivion when I was talking about Western RPGs. They're like the hallmark of that. Unironically, I barely played Oblivion. I was much more of a fan of Morrowind. Yeah, New Vegas is a big one. And of course, there's like Mass Effect as well. There's Mass Effect. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. And then I'll probably do a stage. You gotta play Oblivion and Skyrim if you like loring games. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, back then, I was lost in the sauce with JRPGs. I think back then I was much more focused on Final Fantasy 11 and 14, so I was playing MMOs. So I never really bothered getting to Oblivion. Before then, I had a chance to play Morrowind because I wasn't that deep into the online sphere. But then once I got into MMOs, I kind of just got really drenched in JRPGs. So I more or less skipped Oblivion, more or less. And Skyrim as well, by the way. It's one of those things where, due to my my developed taste, I never really had a desire to play them. Yeah, but I was playing 11, Final Fantasy 11. A money-focused merc in New Vegas. Okay, I'm gonna continue on. Yeah, 11 was basically my backyard for a really long time. You're finally here. This is Arya, the friend I told you about. She fixed us up with tickets. We're in your hands, Arya. Don't worry, I'll do what I promised. Speaking of 14, there is a beloved character who betrays you. Just saying. Yeah, that's true. Just to be clear, I get you in, but the rest is up to you. Sure. Are you sure Kay will be here tonight? Absolutely. It's the real hardest show at the Fantasy Club tonight. Most likely it's his show. It's the Easier 7 Underground Fighting Tournament. Not exactly a secret. They host it every year, drawing all sorts of groups to compete. It has turned into Easier 7's biggest cash cow. Why hold this event though? It's tradition. The Fantasy Club started it to unite Easier 7's Underground. I tried to get into 14, I hear it's amazing, but I couldn't stand the Shakespearean old style. Yeah, I get what you mean with that. Not gonna lie, for me personally, that was one of my biggest pet peeves as well. I think they did that mainly for atmosphere. It might be because of the voice actors that they got. They just kind of naturally went that direction. But I want to say that was a conscious choice, because I do know Final Fantasy 14 was one of those few games where they actually did the story first in English, and then they translated it to Japanese. So it might have been a conscious choice to do that. With Kay, they beat the 4 major families there, earning their recognition and securing their top spot. Since then, they've been a standing defender in these shows, open to challenges from other groups. I thought this was just a fun show. It's more than that. It's a key part of Easier 7's underground dynamics and quite fascinating. The tournament has 3 rounds: qualifiers, semifinals, and final challenges against the Fantasy Club. The qualifiers are open to everyone in Easier 7. The semifinals, with only 5 spots, involve power struggles and territorial disputes. Besides the qualifying champion, the other 4 are picked by the 4 major families. The semifinal winner gets the right to challenge the Fantasy Club. If they win, they can take the club status and some of their assets. No more such a big deal here. Yeah, so more or less they do tournaments to more or less get territory. Not say territory, but at the very least they get assets. Assets being like monetary value or weapons or something like that. The qualifiers wrapped up last week. Tonight's the semifinals and finals. As a defender, the Fantasy Club will face all of the Easier 7 challengers. So to keep their spot in Easier 7, Kay's gotta show up tonight. Easier 7 is really complicated. I actually like it. I hate when fantasy roles all have characters speaking like millennials. They don't have to talk like millennials. For me, I think what really put me off the most was the accents. It's not necessarily their dialect, but their accents that really put me off. Like, when they say, the biggest peeve that I always see is comrade. They usually say it as comrades. And it's like, ugh! It's a gacha game. Pokey. It's a mix of straightforward and complex, but mostly it boils down to who can throw a punch. Oh, by the way, I can't join you inside. Had a bit of a run-in with the fancy club, and I read I'd start more trouble. Here are your tickets. Hang on to them. I'll be backing you from the sidelines, and Arya got you covered. Like I said, you can enter, but your friend's ticket is fake, so he can't come in. Fake? Seems like the fancy club's playing dirty to mess with Faltering District. Scared of losing, so you stoop low? I said we charge in. A new sucks update on Palworld? Apparently pals can use a glider. Wait. How's that you can use as a glider? They had to. Why? Why did they have to remove that? Like trouble up ahead. Hey, you guys, come and help. Those Faltering District troublemakers. We step in before it gets out of hand. Let's go. Oh, more people. Numbers don't scare me. Guys, let's test our new moves on them. Likely Nintendo. Okay. Wait, they have a patent for monsters for movement? That's really weird. A lot of games do that. They can basically sue like a lot of companies for that. Oh, let me just start the battle. Peak FF14 story for me, and games overall with Shadowbringers. Shadowbringers is fantastic. I see on fancy for riding chocolos. So the thing about Final Fantasy 14 is that I have a lot of history with it, but it's one of those games where I'm kind of over it, I guess you can say. Growing out of it would be a dumb thing to say, but I'm kind of over it. I played 11, obviously. I played 1.0 version of 14. That wasn't a great experience. And then I played Realm Reborn all the way to what was the last one called? What's the current expansion called? I can't remember it right now. Because I can remember Endwalker, but I can't. Dawn Trail, that's what it was. I played Dawn Trail and I was like, yeah, okay, Dawn Trail isn't great. Maybe next expansion they can do well, but I'm kind of thinking like even if they do well for the next expansion, I probably won't play it because I'm kind of over it. It kind of feels like that I'm good, you know. I'm satisfied with 14. Like I played from the very beginning of 1.0 all the way to Endwalker, and Endwalker was a fantastic finish, and I don't think it'll ever top that ever again, because there's so much involved with that. There's so many years packed into that. I'm kind of like, yeah, I kind of know when to fold, you know? I don't think they can top that ever again for me. So.
貴様、覚えてろよ。
You just wait.
徘徊の町の野郎ども。
Those jerks in Faltering District are getting worse. Thankfully, you helped us
手を
deal
貸
with
してく
them.
れてありがとう、あやさん。
You've been a big help, Arya.
ええ。で、なん
Why
で
were they causing trouble?
入場券に問題があった。
The tickets had an issue, and per the rules, we stopped them.
けど奴ら
We didn't expect them to lash out.
そうだ。こちら
And
の
who might your friends be?
あ、私のお客様
Oh, they're the guests I see. They're the guests I brought to see the show.
入場券はこれ。
Here are the tickets. Can you let them pass?
入場券は
The tickets are fine, but your friend is a hyperlinker.
規則では
Rules say hyperlinkers can't come into the fantasy club.
それは分かってるわ。
I know, but this is a special guest and a stewardess. No worries.
まあ
Okay. If so, and you vouch for them,
あやさんの
going in. Yeah, it's wild that Nintendo's able to sue them. Like, what the hell?
人がいっぱい賑やかですね。
さて、ここまでにしようか。
Alright, I'll leave you here.
さっき手を貸してもらったし。
Since you helped out, here's a free tip.
ファンタシークラブでは
At the fantasy club, Nightmares is a forbidden topic. Can't just barge in and claim to be an old friend of Nightmares. Expect to see K. It won't work. Especially as a hyperlinker.
どうしてハイパーリンカーは
Why are they called shoulder hyperlinkers?
選手はともかく、ルールは
Ooh, who's soon next? It's still Pal World.
理由を知る人はいない。
Only K knows he set the rule, and the reasons are his own.
おかしいわね。
Weird. What's K's problem with hyperlinkers?
どうしても会いたいのなら、
To see him, I suggest you talk to Oboro, the stewardess.
3ヶ月前、K がシントから
After K's trip to Shin Metropolis 3 months back, he left most fantasy club matters to her. Since then, K's been out of sight, only making exceptions for her. Oboro is your key to anything related to fantasy club or K.
彼女は今どこに？
Where is she?
いつも外部活動を担当して
I
るから
handle external affairs, so I never met the stewardess or seen her, so I can't help with that.
でも
But she's bound to be at tonight's show. You can wait here for her, or try looking around. Just wait out. Just watch out for Faltering District folks.
さっきから気になっていたんだが。
What kind of force is Faltering
徘徊
District?
の町とやらは一体
Why are they
何者
bold
なんだ？
enough to stir trouble here?
昔ならあんなことを
Normally
する
they
勇気
wouldn't,
も
but
ない
things
は
have
ずだけど
changed.
徘徊の町は
They were
もと
once
もと四大派
one of
閥
the
の
four
一つだ
major
った
families, but fell apart
内
after
乱
tunnel
が起きた
strife.
しかしこの1年
Lately, they had
誰の支持
mysterious
を
help,
得たかは知らないけ
absorbed
ど
smaller
何
groups,
十個も
and
の
gotten
小
back
さい
into
集
the
団
game.
としかも最近
They even teamed up with the Night Wolves Club, aiming to dethrone the fantasy club at E07. If it goes bad for Power World, yeah, that's true actually, because they're also doing the Pokemon mechanic. Explains their boldness.
徘徊の町の奴らは話
I'm
を通
talking
じる
known
相
for
手
being
じゃない
reasonable.
手を出したのは
Oh, okay,
奴
that's
ら
what
の
you're
恨みを
saying.
買ったってこと必ず
That actually
回
fits
収
then. That
する
fits very well. Mess with them and you're asking for trouble.
じゃあ話はここまでに
That's
し
all I
ま
have
しょ
to
うか
say. Good luck.
カレイ町に合わせてくれ
It'd
る
be
といい
great
で
if
す
she
ね。
could get us to stewardess.
案内してくれるだけでもありがたい。
You help us get in, and we'll
あと
handle
は
the rest
私たちで
ourselves.
何とか。
これからどうしますか
What's next? You might find something useful from people here.
そうするしかないわね。
Makes sense. Just remember Arya's warning and steer clear of Faltering District drama.
人が集まる場所は聞き込
Try
み
to spots might provide some leads. I marked them
もうマ
for
ー
you.
クしてあるわ。やってみましょう。
準決勝の推薦者の4人のうちこの3人は確定してるらしいぞ。
So far, is this pro tag rather gender neutral? Yeah, so far. There hasn't really been anything specific, I guess is the best way to put it. Nothing specific yet. I hear 3 major families have already picked up their semi-finalist.
ウォルフ・キャバレーがファンガスを
Night Wolves Club
徘
chose
徊の町がクロノス
Bengus,
を
Faltering
ファン
District
タシー
chose
クラブと仲の
Chloros,
いいトリファリさんが
and
ト
Mr.
ゥーランドットを推
Trifoli,
薦したんだ。
allied with the Fantasy Club, nominated Turandot.
いろんな試合で活躍してき
These
た
top
選手ばかりだ
contenders, plus the Dark Horse Victor from the qualifiers, promise an electrifying show tonight.
ラズさんは今年も推
Is
薦しない
Mr.
の
Ross
か
still not endorsing anyone this year?
どうかな。でも
It's hard to say, but Falcon District might be aligning with Mr. Ross.
この様子じゃ敗
Going
退
to
の
challenge
街
the
は
Fantasy Club. Rumor has it Victor, the qualifiers champ, has sided with Falcon District too.
でも敗壊の街は
I don't
勝て
think
ない
they
だろ
have their way, though. No contender has a chance if it's K they'll be facing.
そうだね。
True, K's never been defeated in this finals. Whenever they say K, I literally think of RK from Ghost Frontline, not gonna lie. Like, every single time. True, K's never been defeated in the finals since the show started.
でもさ、
But will K be there this time? No one's seen him for 3 months.
また徘徊の街
Looks like Falter and District giving Fantasy Club a real headache this
ファン
time.
タ普通の観客だから
These are just regular spectators. Doubt they know anything useful. Let's move on.
あそこのウェイターさん何
Those
か
who talking? Let's check it out.
ジョンソンが入場拒否された。しばらくは入れない。
Well, then Wei's wife, who's actually thirst over female rover. Yeah. They do. Gots and others are stuck outside. Oh, also, they pretty much got rid of Chixia and Yang Yang. Like, they pretty much did like a hard pivot where they're just background characters now. And basically every patch is like, oh, which female character wants to bang you next?
ラズさんのあの代理人と会ったことがあるのは
Only he has bet Mr. Ross
なん
agent.
とか入れてもらわない
Need
と
to find a way to get him
我
inside.
々徘徊の街
Mr.
に
Ross is crucial for Fulton District. We can't screw this up.
あの二人は徘徊の街の連中
They seem to be from Fulton District.
でもファンタジークラブの
Yeah,
服
they're
を
in
着てます
Fantasy Club gear.
紛れ込んで潜入したのかしら
Guess they slipped in.
おい待て。
Wait, someone's eavesdropping.
おいお前ら。
Hey, you guys, sticking around looking for trouble? Oh, okay, we're fighting. Alright.
戦闘準備だ。
見知らぬ舞台
うかつだった。
海流が全てを慰めるの砕かれた夢が叫んでいる一緒に耳を傾けて
ついてこい。自業自得だ。
So, I have a really good friend who's also a
敵
streamer.
がまだいるかもしれない。 警戒を怠るな。
When I played Genshin Impact, I originally started as female. Or no, actually no, I never played as female. I was always male. I played as male because I told her, yeah, I'm playing as male because, you know, there's like a lot of tension between other characters, and it feels better as male for me. And then she told me, you can be female, just pretend you have a dick.
どうやら徘徊の街の連中はファンタジークラブへの潜入を
Walton Ditch is infiltrating the fantasy club. Let's go around and ask around
心について聞いて回り
about
ましょう
Obera.
珍しいね。クラブにハイパーリンカーがいる
Not
の。
often we see a hyperlinker around.
どうです？こ
How's
こ
the
の
vibe
雰
here
囲
for
気
you?
は気に入りました？
Pleasant people, pretty lively.
今回は注目されてて、これまで
Tonight
で
show's a
一番
big
盛り
deal,
上がって
the
る
liveliest
ショ
in
ー
a
なんです。
while. The formation's
しかも
looking
選手
pretty
陣も
interesting
かな
too.
りショーが始まって以来、ファンタジーク
Since
ラ
the
ブ
show
の
kicked
脅威
off,
になれるのは
Fantasy Club's been
誰一人もい
unchallenged,
ません
but
でし
now
た。
Fulton Ditch is stepping up,
けど今回は違う。
even teaming up with the Night
実
Wolves
力者の
Club.
徘徊の街が出て、
I actually really like
しかも
Gion's
ゴルフキャバレーと手を組んでますし
side story. I like having him as a bro.
クロロスやファンガスみたいな
They're serious snagging top players like Chloros and Fengus on the underground arenas.
外もファンタジークラ
There's
ブ
a lot
の
of
権
buzz
に関する
about
噂
Fantasy
が
Club
広
and
がってる
K.
んですよ。
Everyone's waiting to see how
フ
they'll
ァンタジ
respond.
ー、まあ、カレー
The
長さんも
stewardess must have
そ
a
れなり
plan.
の作
カレー長の話が出た
You mentioned stewardess. Let's follow up with that. You mentioned a stewardess.
カレー長様のことにご関
You
心
seem
がお
very
持ちですね
interested. We'd like to meet her.
カレー長様に会いたいの
Been
で
to
す
see the stewardess? Sorry, she's not
申
available
し
during
訳
the
ござい
show.
ませんでは他
Excuse
の
me,
お
but I
客様
got
のお
other
もて
guests
な
to
しを
attend
しな
to.
くてはなりま
どうやらそのカレー
And the stewardess is on high alert. This is a problem. How's Leanne doing? Her signal cut off earlier, but I've gotten through to her. She's on her way. Let's wait for her. Minutes later, Leanne arrives. Finally found you. Find anything? Since Falcon Ditch is sneaking in, Fantasy Club's upgraded their security. Everyone's been tight-lipped. I didn't find much, but I have another idea. What is it? Join the show. We win and get to the finals, and we're guaranteed to meet Kay. According to the rules here, if we beat him, we can get the info we need. But we need a recommendation from one of the 4 major families, and they've already picked their fighters. I looked into it. Of the 4 semifinal sponsors, Mr. Wrath hasn't chosen anyone yet. Fucking Paimon. We could pursue him and recommend us, but what? I hear he wants to steer clear of Ease out of struggle and hasn't backed anyone before. Word is, Falcon Ditch is already courting Mr. Voss to get his endorsement. We need to beat them to it. Plus, we only got 3 hours till sign-up closes. Time's running out. What a pain. Just then, whippers came from the bar's hall. Something's going on over there. Something's going down over there. Good evening, Gukong. It's not open world, it's stage based. This is Etheria Restart. It's a new game. Open beta at the moment. It's a JRPG, gotcha. So cocky starting around like you've already won, not even saying hi. I don't waste words on those I've beaten. You, think you and Falcon District have this in the bag? Don't forget, Fantasy Club still got K. Let's see if he shows up for the final showdown. Where are they? Looks like the contestants picked by the 4 families have arrived. That's Chloros, the Grim Penalty, and Turandot, the Crimson Walls. They're tonight's top contenders. Chloros is top of the leaderboard, rumored to rival K in strength. But if you ask me, who are you? That's my question. Easy, think of me as a friendly stranger. Just saw you in trouble and I happen to be good at providing help. It's too crowded here. Let's find a quieter place to talk. Led by the friendly stranger, we've arrived at a quiet spot. 3D is pretty much standard these days for gacha games. Yeah, it's pretty much a standard now, yeah. There are some cases where you go 2D, but they had to look really damn good. And I guess really horny. Like, I guess it has to make you really horny for it to be a 2D game nowadays. For that, I mean like, Brown does too. Or Nikkei. I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Kraken from Hydra Bank. Here's my card. Hydra Bank's mixed up in business here too? Our priority is always the client's need. I act in my client's best interest. I'm here on behalf of a client, not Hydra Bank. So why approach us? I heard you're looking to meet the stewardess. I might be able to help. Can you help us meet the stewardess? It's possible, but it hinges on what you can bring to the table. Value for investment and partnership is always based on your effort.
私たちの実力を試す
Are
つも
you
り
testing our strength?
ただ協力する価値があ
I'm
る
just
かど
checking
う
if
か
you're worth partnering with. Okay, so we gotta kill him.
嘘の声が聞こえる。
本来の力を見せてほしいのです。遠慮せぬようお願いします。でもクラブの物品を壊さないよう弁償になってしまいますから。
Japanese companies don't get it. They still sell out all these low budget games with off gacha rates. Yeah, they kind of don't realize that the saturation is very high for gacha games at the moment. If you kill me, I'll work with you. That's basically what it feels like. Yeah, China is dominating right now, yeah. Korea is rising in my opinion. And with Japan, it's really just FGO. Be honest. Oh, I guess you can also count the IP gacha games, so like Solo Leveling, Dragon Ball, and FGO. Well, FGO is its own unique thing. Oh yeah, Naruto is what I'm thinking about. Naruto's pretty high up there too in sales. Impressive, Hyperlinker. You exceeded my expectations. Could you explain why you wanted to see the stewardess? The Union and Fancy Club usually don't mix. It's not a secret. We're tracking 2 animuses on the Union's orders. Our lead suggests that they interacted with K here. We're after information from Fancy Club and K. Oh yeah, yeah, that one too. Yeah, Reverse 1999 and Limbus Company. Like there are some exceptions. There are some outliers, of course. Dio works as a bartender. The Fence Club isn't a charity. Even if you meet the stewardess or K, you might not get what you want. Negotiations depend on the value of what each side brings to the table. I know, no point in beating around the bush. Right now, the competition is your best bet. Win it, and the Fantasy Club can't ignore your request. Today's event won't be easy to join. I got you covered. My client, Mr. Ross, is a key sponsor of the competition. He values his competition and is looking for a strong player. I believe you're the ideal choice. Your skills should make reaching the final straightforward. We were planning to ask Mr. Ross for help, but why would you or he help us? We just met. This isn't just help. Think of it as a partnership. We have common goals. We need something from Fantasy Club just like you do. Winning the semifinals and getting to the final challenge is crucial for both of us. What do you think? This is our best shot. Wise decision, my friend. This partnership won't let you down. Just then, a burly contestant rushes in, breaking up the conversation. You are... Did you forget? Alternate District has a deal with you and Mr. Ross. Oh, I forgot. You're Asu, right? Sorry, but we moved on. Mr. Ross and I are set on this competition. This hyperlinker will be our pick. Mr. Ross is stepping in. Wow, his name is actually Asu. What a name. Asu. For us, it's all about the return. Our actions hinge on potential gains. So, you and Mr. Ross are really ditching Faltering District? We got our reasons. Apologies. Hope Mr. Ross doesn't regret this. Faltering District won't forget this snub. The contestant gives you a look and storms off. Sorry, I hope this doesn't affect our partnership. Follow me, I'll arrange for you to register backstage. Alright, so Knight Chekhov's gun there. Which game we're talking about? What game's coming to global? The horse game? This is the hyperlinker. My pick for Mr. Ross. Help him with the sign up. Of course, sir. Etheria will guide you to the register. Competition starts in 3 hours, and I got other stuff to handle, so excuse me. Oh, Uma Musume? Okay. Yeah, I have, like, to be completely honest, I have, like, no interest in that one, so I have no idea what's going on with that. I just know, for some reason, it's really popular. I don't know if it's because of waifu, or because the game's actually really good. But it's one of those games that I'm not interested in. It's just like how Love and Deep Space is doing extremely well, but I have no interest in playing that either. For obvious reasons. Kraken leaves after giving directions. Thank you for representing Mr. Ross tonight. I'll accompany you from now on. Are there other competitors here yet? The combat champion Victor, Turadont, backed by Mr. Trifle, and Chloros from Faltering District are here. We're just missing Feng is from Night Wolves Club. Yeah, it's very easy to see why Lad is doing well, yeah. Like, it's very obvious why. But Uma Musume is a bit beyond me, I would say. I didn't even know Japan loves horse races. I know they love autos a lot, but I didn't know they had a thing for horses. I mean, we kind of like horses, just not like that. With only 3 hours to go, we need to speed through registration. What do you need? Just the contact info, name, and signature here. You're in the rest area. Feel free to explore while I handle the rest. Give Mr. Ross code. Question moves freely in this area and confirms your identity. Keep it safe. Let's meet at the registration center in 15 minutes. Alright, thank you. Perfect. Check out the other contestants. But be careful of Faltering District. I feel they won't let the fallout from Mr. Kraken and Mr. Ross go. Who will win, Mustang or Camaro? Mustang. Ow. I'm a little surprised they didn't make the MC a playable character. It's probably for the best. It's so surprising though. Stop. Funny running to you again so soon. And yeah, funny that your name is Ass. Watch out for different Faltering District. Move aside while we're still acting nicely. You got a fiery spirit. No wonder Mr. Ross chose you. Just so you know, crossing Faltering District never ends well. So you think you can convince Mr. Ross to ditch us and leave us here unscathed? Walk away now. You're no match for us. Big talk won't save you from what's coming next. Oh, you can only female on that one? Interesting. I think I would try out Reverse 1999 if I just didn't already have my hands full. Like, I'm only really trying this one because it looks really high production. Obviously, my opinion has soured a little bit than I actually playing the game, but I'm still interested in seeing the end game at the very least. It's full of accents though, that's okay. Because I assume they're more like lore accurate accents. Just based on what I know. Like you like Reverse 1999? I probably would. Like just straight up saying, I probably would like it. In fact, I feel like I like a lot of games. I don't really have like much restriction on terms of what games I play, because I even like shooter games. Even though as far as like my least played genre, I do like shooter games quite a bit. It's just time and priorities. Except they really ruined it for me. I think someone said that beforehand actually. Yeah, Accession 33 really raised the bar, I would say, by a lot. So I understand what you're saying. Maggie was right. Fault Intensity is causing trouble. Ignore them and head to the registration center. They won't dare cause trouble here. Or there. This will be the registration center Linda was mentioned. She's running late. After waiting for a while. Sorry, I'm late. Something wrong? There's some complex procedures, but your registration is all set now. Here's your certification and player key. Fantasy Club set up special lanes for contestants, and you're in lane 3. Use the key to enter and rest there until the show starts. Thank you for your help. No problem, just do my job. Kraken has other tasks for me, so excuse me. Good luck. Meanwhile... So, old Ras is stepping in. A hyperlinker from the Union. That's an unexpected choice. Don't worry about him, he's not a threat. I'll make Ras regret his choice. Is it ready? Yes, this dose is tailored for you. He is barely hanging on with his injuries. This is the best chance Falters is going to get. I don't need reminding. I know what to do. To take down K, the fantasy club won't last long. You and Fulton better not disappoint us. There we go. Nice tits. Yeah, that's the real content. So anyway, oh, nah, we're getting jumped.
手強いやつだ。行くぞ。はっきり。
We're all good though. We're only getting jumped because they know they suck. Stop targeting my healer.
炎は全ての罪を燃やし尽くす。小賢しい真似をやられると燃えろ。敵がまだいるかもしれない。警戒を怠るな。
さすがラズさんの選んだもの。
Not bad. I see why Mr. Ross chose you. Who are you and why did you attack us?
私の縄張りで
Funny how someone asks who I am on my turf.
業界の連中は
Don't you people know who the rules?
彼女はおそらく
This be the fancy club stewardess.
まあま
Oh my, what a
あ、
surprise
こ
to
こ
see
で
the
カレー長
stewardess
と会え
here.
ると
You've been telling us, haven't you?
お客様の動向を常
Keeping
に
an eye on
注
clients
視す
is
るというのも
is our usual practice.
クラーケン
Kraken. So is Hydra Bank getting involved too?
いやいや、
No, no, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Ross, not the bank.
私は銀行の
He's
代
sitting
表ではな
here
くラズさんの代理
to
です。
deliver a gift to you and the fancy club.
お前ではラズさんの
We
力
can't help Mr. Ross. Are you sure the gift is for us?
そんなに焦って
Let me so
断ら
quickly
れなくて
decline.
も
Mr. Ross is very interested in the show,
ラズさんも
especially
今
in
回のショ
K,
ーには興
the
味
star
を
of
持たれてます。
E07.
今の K には
Everyone wants to know if K can keep the fantasy club on top.
ファンタジークラブのトップ技を今宵の
The
ショー
spotlight
を
tonight is on Mr. K's performance.
何が言いたい
So what's your point?
私の知る限り
Fulton District is all
大会
in
の
this
街は
time.
かなり自信を持っているよ
Oh,
う
Fulton
です
District is all in this time.
クロロスが仲間入りしただけでは
Not just with Chloros
K 対策の秘密
on
兵
their
器ま
side,
で
but
用
a
意してい
secret
るよ
weapon
うです
against K too.
もし徘徊の街
If they
が
pull
本当
this
に
off,
勝利
it
した
spells trouble for the fancy club.
続けろ
I'm listening.
ラズさんはファンタジー
Mr.
クラブ
Ross
に
wants
協
us
力して
to team
今
up.
の難関を乗り越えられる
with
よ
you
う
during this
手を
rough
貸したいと考えてい
I'd
ま
like
す
to offer an exceptional ally.
そう
This hyperlinker,
それ
you
が
witness
こ
his
ちらのハ
power.
イパーリンカー
He
で
could
す
boost your odds
彼女
against
の
Chloros
実力を
to
もう見たでしょ
70%, even without K
彼女
stepping
が
in.
いてご考慮いただければ
Please
幸
consider
い
it.
です
協力の見返りは
What do you
何
want
な
in
の
turn?
これはファンタジークラブ
Mr.
のための
Ross sees this
お
as
土
a
産に
gift
過
from
ぎ
the
ま
fancy
せん
club. He plans to
細かい
discuss
話
featured
は
medicine in person.
ラズしかしこちらのハイパー
As
リ
for
ンカー
this hyperlinker,
彼女は少し
he does need some
ファンタジークラ
help
ブ
from
の
the
協
fancy
力が
club.
必
言ってみろ
What is it?
二人のイカク社の行方を
The
追って
Union
い
is
る
tracking two animuses,
RC77
RC77 and
ペル
Hellkit.
彼らが
We believe they're linked to the
姿を消した
RCS and the recent Genesis outbreak in Block E.
我々の掴んだ情報
According to our intel, they were in contact with the fancy club 6 months ago. We need K's help to investigate.
RCS か
RCS, no wonder
道
the
理で教
Union
会
and
と
Bureau
警
are
備所が
alarmed.
K のところに
I
連
can
れ
take
て
you
行
to
くことは
K,
構わない
but I have my own conditions first.
どんな条件だ
What are your terms?
当然だが準決
Win
勝
the
の勝者に
semifinals,
なった暁
then
には
publicly bow out
最
of the
終
final
戦を
challenge.
それさえ約束した
If
く
you
れ
do
る
that,
なら
I'll
ば
take you to K and help as much as I can. Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
よし
Good.
どうやら合意に達したようですね
Looks like we have a deal. A good start.
ラズさ
Tell
んに
Mr. Ross that the fancy club has his
そ
gift.
の土産
We'll await his visit.
ご安心ください
I'll make sure he
必
gets
ず
the
お
message.
登録の件なら
As for registration, we'll handle
私
it.
とこの先の休憩エリ
Go
ア
to
で
the
お
rest
待ちく
area.
ださ
The
い
show will soon start.
ショー
Good
は
luck. How's chapter 5? Alright. So. It's getting close to the end of the stream. So, question. Based on that, how you guys feeling? I think I've already said what I said. Yeah. I think for me, oh, you fucking kidding me? Really? This is what I'm talking about. I gotta be level 13 now. I gotta be level 13 now. Yeah, that's rough. Rip Bozo. Killed most my intention to play the game. I think this is one of those games where you don't stream it, to be honest. Work is at the busiest. Yeah, that makes sense. It is one of those games where I don't know why they did this, but you can put the game on in the background and all the grinding can happen off screen, and it'll give you a notification on your phone when it's done so that you can set up the next thing. So you are able to get stuff done, but I don't understand. Well, I actually do understand why they did this way. It's because they need to artificially lengthen the time you stay on the game so that you don't rush to the end game. That's basically the main reason why, but I gotta get 3 levels in order to continue the plot. That's nutty. And this is also beta, so that means once the beta ends, you gotta do it all over again. Yeah. That is a pretty big pace killer. Now I know why Tectone only played for like 2 hours before shutting off his stream. He probably got bored, to be honest. Yeah, this one's a little rough. A little rough. I really hope for launch they just get rid of like the early roadblocks. Like, you want to put like a roadblock at like level 30 or something like that, then sure. But early on, you kind of need to get that pace. Like, you need to keep the pace going, because I still don't know what the hook is for this game. Other than that, it looks good, and the waifus look good. The story isn't that interesting either. There's no story hook, I want to say. Like, there is a prologue, but there's so many prologues that are like that these days, where it's like, oh, there's a big battle, and then it goes down to 0, where you're doing a lot of talking. It's pretty weird, because I feel like if this game came out in, like, the hook is supposed to be PvP, but I don't have PvP unlocked, I want to say. Yeah, I don't. I have yet part 6. So that's like a pretty big deal. But I feel like if this game came out in like 2021, 2022, this game would like probably like top 10. Goes from line vibes a bit. A little bit. So far, it's very slow and doesn't grip hard towards people's attention. Yeah, basically that. I feel like the ones who are going to play this game will be the ones who are very into PvP, and they'll just skip the story. Because, to be honest, I don't see anything about the story that has gripped me so far, besides just curiosity on my part, because I'm a lore nerd. Like, I right now, I don't see this game being like the type of game where it's like, oh, there's like a great amount of lore involved, like the story is really gripping, like casual players are like, they're like sitting on the edges of their seats waiting for the patch to drop, and then they'll flood the game trying to enjoy the story as much as they can. I don't see that happening. Like Ghost Recon and Nikkei does that. The community in both of those And both of those games love their story, and the game kind of lives and dies by the story. For this one, it doesn't even feel like that the story is a backdrop. Obviously, there's effort put into it, but there's no hook. It doesn't have a hook. And then it's like, okay, well, at least the story is there and there's something to read. But then they just put these roadblocks, these gates, these time gates. It's like this early? Like this early on, really? You know, it's... And look at Chess. Chess says your mom. That's so funny. I feel like early on, you have to step on the gas and you have to maintain that pace really early on, because that's when you have to build up goodwill. Especially in today's market, where there's so much competition, where the instant that someone feels bored, they will log off and play something else. Especially now that gacha gamers are discovering single player games again. So, overall, I'll still be playing this off stream because I am still interested in the end game, but I'm probably not going to stream it until the end game. Actually have access to the end game, because as it stands right now, it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit torturous to stream this game. A little bit. It doesn't have enough early on, in my opinion. And I feel sad for saying that, because I was looking forward to this. It was one of those games where I was like, wow, I can see this game really working out. Like, as long as it does like the standard stuff, I can't see this game failing, you know? And obviously the game hasn't failed yet. I don't want to get too sensational. But I didn't expect to get bored. I guess that's the surprising part. I didn't expect to get bored. So, I think that's about it. Tomorrow, we're going back to Ghost Frontline. And I still need to do everything on Ghost Frontline 2, the CN side of things. And also still do the bosses for the global side. So that's probably still going to be another full day of Ghost Frontline. Maybe Expedition 33, maybe. But I may just hold off on that because I know a lot of people want to avoid spoilers, and I'm in no rush to complete Expedition 33, surprisingly. To me anyways. So I may like wait like a week or two for that before I continue on with that. But yeah, tomorrow is definitely Ghost Frontline gameplay. And this will be played off stream, and then if I find something cool, or if I'm really hyped for the end game portion, I might stream this again. But for now, Oblivion? No, probably not. Probably not Oblivion. But for now, it's time to end stream. Thanks guys for hanging out. It's been really fun. You all take care. I'll see y'all tomorrow.